Welcome everybody to 48 a Talk, episode number 72. I am your host, Racebody, as always. Joining me this time is the usual crew of the Extra-Camina on the right, Derek on the bottom left, and the Canadian guy on the bottom right. What's up, everybody?
Yo,
what's up?
Yo.
What is that in your hand?
Uh-oh.
my king blades.
Are these like you put on the hand and you wave them and stuff?
Yeah, I do
just
four
have
at
the
a time
one.
now. One hand.
Why?
I have actually 11, so.
11, huh?
From AKB. I have AKB ones and the default ones.
It'd have been cooler if you would have been wearing them though, and you'd have been just like doing this at the beginning. Like, I don't think anybody would have paid attention to us anymore. So.
Wow.
And the time he puts it on.
Yeah, and let's see, he's gonna do it. There it is.
Yeah.
All right. First off, before we start, thank you everybody. Thank you for last week's episodes. That's an all-time high. I was just stunned, just amazed how high the view count went. So really from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Yeah. Let's get into the show then. We got some news. We got some stuff. First off, how about NMB48 with their new reveal of their new single coming up? That's a fun song. Waruto People or something?
Waruta People.
Waruta People. What is that about?
I have no clue. I like the performance though, all those cowboys and such. Yeah.
It's like the wave. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
They're doing something. I do like Shinoda Mariko being center.
Oh yeah.
You know,
definitely.
pushing real the face of NMB now. My God, look at that.
And you know what's interesting is in Japan, this is like normal. It's just, you see it at every like idol show, and it's totally accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll never forget when I saw Dots, you know, and that one dude with his 5 red light blades, right, just ran in front of me and was like light blading right in front of the girl, and she was laughing her butt off because it was so amazing.
I'm doing this because we're talking about Waruta People, and all they do is like...
Yeah, that's right.
So it feels
waka.
like this has a high tension feeling to me. It's like the outfits are the same, the song style would be recommended to that side. It's definitely like a people pleaser song, I would say. Do you agree?
It's a fun song to listen to in any case. When I first heard it, I was like, okay, sure, it sounds familiar, but then the performance itself and all those Kamoji and Smiley and the background is like, what the heck is going on? The song itself is good though.
It's sad though that the performance itself, they had like a medley going on with the rest of the group, and there was this platform with all screens, and one of the screens broke decidedly at the performance, so it was a little weird to see it, and you had all these emojis and poop faces.
How do you catch that, Robin? I've watched that like 3 times. I didn't catch that. You're ridiculous. Like, I don't know how you catch stuff like that. Like, I'm watching the main performance and you're looking for emojis going astray and stuff breaking. It's just impressive. It's very impressive.
Well, I don't know if it's impressive or just slightly disturbing.
Yayo, what do you think about the song? I mean, clearly you must like it. You're like light blading it up for it.
Yeah.
No, because it's, I think the emoji, like, I'm just doing the emoji right now and, like, turn on my KBs just because, like, it lacks it. Like, when they were performing it, no one's doing the call, so I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because you put those lights on, your camera quality just increased for some reason.
It's weirdly enough, like, you're way better now. That's so crazy. Light blades make everything better, I guess. Let me say my take real quick. I think overall, like, it was fun. It was different, so I appreciate the difference. It sounded like they took a few parts of songs from a few of the underground idol bands I listened to, and they made them happy instead of a little more angrier. I'm thinking about Guso Drop in particular, the Waka Waka Waka. There's actually the very last song Guso Drop, I think, released or did publicly before they broke up last month was a song that had that kind of exact thing, except it wasn't fun. Like, it was a little bit more serious, but but I gleaned from that everything from this, all that. It was fun. It was different. Miru crushed it as the center. I don't know. I couldn't keep my eyes off her. Futon it's just sad that she's gonna go. She was real eye catching. Signy, I almost didn't even realize was in it.
Yeah, she was really a background character during that.
But it was nice. It was nice to see that. But I think overall, it was just a little too silly for me. I think because there was that part like oh, and I'm like, I don't like that. Like if they didn't have that part, I would have been totally, I think, okay the song. But here's the thing I know about the song. I think that it would be true if the song actually gets played live. This is a live song. If you were there live, you'd be jumping, you'd be having a good time. Listening wise, there's not much sustainability, I think, for it. But live, this will be a party song. Do you guys?
I actually agree. Yeah.
Imagine playing this at Tokyo Idol Festival.
Right. Everybody go nuts.
Especially
everybody
the front.
Have so much fun. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. But
that's the other thing. No, I'm glad you did that. That's another thing. Did you notice like all the releases this time, from Mayu's single to Warota People to NGT's, has a whoa, like a whoa part? Did you notice that? Like they all have it.
Even Gaya has one. That's the one on the album, the skirt something. That's...
well, yeah. I mean, no, I'm saying like in general, that's something like it's an easy thing to do. But what I'm saying, it's just interesting for AKB48. Mayu single, whoa, 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 and then this song, whoa, 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 and then NGT has it too.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Maybe that's a trend right now.
I'm cool with it. I like it. Those parts always get me going.
So, you guys watched the rest of the medley, by the way? Watch all the performances. I know. I noticed a little trend. So you had so it was NMB, AKB, Nogizaka, and Keiakizaka, right? Yeah. Or was there also another sister? No, right?
Nope. I think you're right, yeah.
Okay, so I noticed when NMB showed up, it was fun for nice performance. Nogizaka did Influencer, and I started wondering why Influencer. They feel that's the best presence for the song, because the last two singles are not that kind of presence. Influencer is their most powerful song this year, I would say. So that's why they performed that. Then you had Gaya showing up, and dance-wise, they are on top. They
amazing.
Oh yeah, by far.
Go green! Go green!
Yeah, and that's why I was a little distracted with the panel one in top left breaking, because it has like this autumn feel, you know, blowing little leaves, and you couldn't see all the leaves because the panel broke.
Oh, right.
Again, didn't even notice. I couldn't keep my eyes off freaking Techi, man. She was amazing in that performance. Every one of them were, but she really stuck out. Like, what a ridiculous idol this girl is. Seriously.
I actually don't agree this time.
Ooh, why? Did you know? Well, noting you probably noticed she missed a step or something.
The thing is, every time I notice they are performing Kazani. What's the full name?
Kazani Fukatemo.
Thank you.
Hey.
I noticed Sugai. Is
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sugai is just going all out during the performance.
She's
every time
ridiculous.
she does this, smiling.
You know who else really stuck out was Habu.
Habu is very happy being on the front row. Yeah, big smile. But yeah, they go well together. Habu and Sugai. They're very good friends. But yeah, for me, Sugai is just all smiles, really giving the energy of the performance. And you know, Techi's the center, so there's definitely focus on her. But out of all the rest of the other girls, Sugai is the focus point. That, and I would say because it's a very tight suit, Moria Akane is also on my focus points. But let's just say certain parts of her is my focus point.
Right.
Let's keep it at that.
All I have to say is,
bow
down to Sugai-sama.
Yes, Sugai-sama deserves it, man. She's ridiculous. So actually, Robin, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I don't know. I just love Techi, man. I don't know, like watching her do her thing, looking great, being happy. It was nice, you know.
She's happy as of late, right? Just I haven't seen.
Yeah, like her attitudes, like she changed. I don't know.
Maybe someone
happy
said
about
it's oh, this is your final center, by the way. Then we're switching it up, and they're like, oh god.
That could be it
Finally.
too. That could be it too.
Yeah, but then AKB came out and they performed Juichi no Anklet.
Yep.
And
Ichigatsu no anklet.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
whatever.
you can tell the budget is definitely better on AKB side. The performance, well, they are more well known, so that's why their performance is more powerful. But you can tell in that medley what on what kind of level every group was. And it's scary then that NMB was actually falling behind on Nogizaka and Keikizaka.
Mm.
And even that's Keiya and Nogi are very they are catching up to AKB status. And I know we talked about something first, but let's do this because it's a nice tie-in. They announced the set list for Kohaku this year,
Mm.
for the 31st of December, of course. Yeah, again this year only the Nogizaka, Keikizaka, and only AKB48 itself. The reason was, the rumor was because of there were too many idol groups, has the
Yeah.
feeling, and
apparently they don't have problems with male idol groups though, so it's like this is quite hypocritical, I would say. Yeah.
yeah, the Johnnies on that side, it's more mixed, but they're a smaller group compared to the state. You know, it's all financial fund because AKB is such a large group. You have to finance all of those members, you know, catering, you know, giving a room, giving space. It all costs more money because they're a bigger group. When you're a Johnny's group of 5 people, then you're like, oh, that's better in our budget, I think. This is not something I can factually say.
I think there's nothing you can really factually say here. It's more about opinions, but let's give our opinions. And like you just did, I'm going to give mine. I think it's important to understand that Kohaku over the years was traditionally more for the older generation, I think. And then it is gradually over the past decade or so, I'd say, catered to a younger generation. But now I think they're going back to the older generation. You notice, I think it's pretty much on the heavier, the Enka side. What I think is not cool is that there are some really incredible artists that they should be having on Kohaku just for the sheer fact of what they've done this year, and they're not on there. Like case in point, I think Nami Amuro, like
Yeah.
she's retiring, and why wouldn't she want to go out on Kohaku? Like, I mean, she doesn't need to, but it's just like, why not put everything in your budget and then some to get that girl on the show, or do like what they did with Utada Hikaru last year. She couldn't make it from England, you know, having a kid and all, so they dialed her in from like a practice room or something there, and it was a beautiful performance. But I think overall the idol thing, I got to be honest, the year they had all the groups, pretty much all the sister groups, it was incredible. It was so much fun. I felt like it was an AKB concert. But I think that's the problem. They're thinking, well, okay, AKB's enough. We don't need all the other groups. And I think that's unfair, because when you look at NGT, they're another group that has crushed it this year. Their single is so epic. It's so beautiful. That is a good song to do on a Kohaku. It has the feels. It has the feels, man.
I think it's too crowded, not crowded, what's the best word to say it? It's too fast, it's too energetic, because if you look at the songs that AKB is performing, they're going with out of all the songs they have from this year, they're going with Nagai,
Unfortunately,
because it has that, you know, classical feel with the performance and all of it being more of a, it caters to a certain type of crowd that's not an AKB fan, and that's why I think they performed this style of song. Same with, you know, Influencer has the movements that's very interesting, and same for Keiya. They're not performing Fukuwayon because it's, you know, you don't want to hear the lyrics are awesome, but it feels negative, maybe for a crowd who isn't just watching Kohaku.
I'd buy that. I'd buy that. Except my only thing is that X Japan's on this, and they're crazy, and they're heavy and dark, and I think it will be interesting to see what X Japan does. But I would say, like, overall, I can kind of see where you're coming from. The idol world supposed to be happy, supposed to be like, yay, let's all be excited and joyful and all that stuff. And I get that, but I just feel like when you look at what has come out, we have Fukuan is probably one of the greatest idol songs ever written, in my opinion. It honestly is. And I think if you don't perform that, you're doing a disservice to the person who took all the time to really carefully write that song, the choreography. Don't get me wrong, K is still going to crush it. I mean, I'm happy with what they're doing. They can't go wrong. But when I look at AKB, NGT's song should be the one they're doing. I know they never would, but that's the one they should do. Because that song embodies everything. Or for crying out loud, do hashtag Sukinanda. You know? That song's okay. They could have a lot of fun with that in Kohaku, you know, with all the Twitter stuff. Yeah. But I just think it's a classic case of AKS, I think, not choosing the correct song or caving in to the pressure of whoever's running Kohaku. Well, you know, to do what you're saying.
Last year, the song that they played the most was 365 Paper Airplanes. Because it's you know, it's quiet. It's just a time with a show that's also watched by a lot of people. So they're all thinking what would be the ideal song to do for us fans. They're like, okay, this song will please the crowd. But the majority, and it's weird to say, but the majority that watches Kohaku is not a idol fan.
Right, they're older generation.
And I believe the numbers of Kohaku have been slipping for the past few years, but again, technology is changing. Personally, I don't even watch that much TV. You know, I have a TV, but I think for the past year and a half, I haven't turned it on. I'm not sure it even works. It's just staying there. Yeah, it's just we're in this day and age where you can find anything you want online, or well, people have Netflix, and I don't know what Japan has, Hulu system. Japan is they are promoting not normal TV, but just go watch it online.
The streaming service,
that's the streaming showrooms, stuff like that.
Really good point, Robin. Actually, I have to agree with you there. I do think though you can't blame slipping numbers on Kohaku on overabundance of idols on the show. If anything, I just think it's, you know, when you have the same performer on for 23 years or whatever, like, maybe that could be it too. Like, maybe you just change it up. I don't know.
The small tidbit, I think, with AKB before you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You want to say it?
No.
Oh no. You say it first. I'll go after.
The one thing I think also they chose with Nagai something is because the Senbatsu for that song is the biggest they have this year.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So they can make an excuse. Well, the sister groups have not been invited. Let's just say, oh no, we need 32 members for this song, so they can fill it in and just good. Look at that, people! You got on Kohaku, yay!
Do you remember how crushed though the sister groups were? Like, do you remember watching? I think it was an NMB48. Do you remember how terrible that was for them? They were.
Yeah, I remember the HKT documentary.
Or the HKT, they were. I mean, that hurts. That's my concern. I just don't want to see that. Like, I feel bad for the girls.
They probably have, when this was announced, they probably have like, you know, just the sad thing. That's a new tie-in. Before Yale, what do you want to say before we move on to this tie-in I just came up with?
Because you were talking about numbers, right? So like they bought in twice just for numbers now. Like the Korean group.
What do you mean?
Oh, right. There's a K-pop group.
Yeah. That's, I actually know that one. You know, just stuff. It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on Kohaku before we move on? Okay. So the tie-in, because the disappointment for a lot of members not being on Kohaku is the exposure. And this was a topic on a certain type of show we watched, I believe, this week. With it was an AK Bingo tie-in, and they had a separate show. It's called
Uchi
no Gaya. So yes, this was the battle show Goto hosts, and with another, I forget his name, but he's also very popular. I see him everywhere. It was the comedians versus AKB48 with special guest Shinoda Mariko. And good to see her, by the way. She looks great. Doing well, I see. First thing else that's notable is like she was asked, "Do you know any of these members?" She's like, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And the 2 of them were sitting in the front row, because the other ones, yeah, the other ones were like, yeah, maybe she's seen them, but she doesn't really know them. And so they had a battle and certain type of questions. One of the questions was this: how many days off do you have? She said,
Oh yeah.
basically, when I was in AKB, I had 3 days off in the whole year. So could you imagine how busy she was? And then they look at the members, and Chiori said, I have 3 days off per week. And,
Yeah.
and then one of them said, I have 5.
Yeah.
Hama-chan.
Yeah.
Hama-chan.
And that's just mind-blowing. That how severe actually it is to survive in AKB, because that's your job, and you have 5 days a week off. That's not a steady job. I've done that before, working 1 day in a week, and believe me, it sucks. But then the comedians joked, the one who was impersonating Akimoto said,
Yeah.
I once had 6 weeks off, so like I thought I was gonna die.
I have so much to say about this show. Oh my god, but go ahead, keep going.
No, you can intervene. It's just.
I'll wait.
Okay. So other questions. What I did like, that they had this this cook-off battle, and Machirin. This was very beautiful. I really loved the interaction Machirin had with Shinoda, and you know, showing her cooking skills. Another thing she can do. If she keeps this up, Machirin, definitely so Senkyo. Definitely will be high on the list. They now know she can cook, so why not do a cooking show or something? Go with it. But it's amazing on see on that side. They were also talking about the dating stuff. That was pretty funny. They had a whole skit with Miyazaki Miho.
Oh man.
It was so well done. Only Miho broke character a few times, but it's still funny to watch. I laughed a lot. They had to go perfectly to do that, and it's still weird to me how some one-shot gags get so well over, and it's just like, oh my Godfather stuff. Like,
Yeah.
sure, but yeah, Derek, what do you think? What do you want to say?
Yeah, like first of all, this episode to me is everything I've ever wanted when it comes to AKB and their variety presence. I'll just break it down. Muramoto is the freaking MVP, because every time he opened his mouth, I laughed, because he just knows exactly what to say, and he has perfect comedic timing. I kept thinking, him and Goto-san, if they did AK Bingo, it would be the greatest thing ever, because Goto-san knows how to keep the show going. Muramoto knows how to jab at people, and like, he's so good at it. Even just him being there, he's like, I've never been on this show.
Yeah.
Like,
He's been banned from 5 shows.
Yeah.
I actually know which one he was banned from. He was on the end of the year, the Gatsu no, you know, the Gatsu guys. Forget.
Oh, Gaki no Sky.
Gaki no Tsugai,
yeah.
He was banned from that because he ruined a whole segment during the live show.
Wow.
Like, here's the thing. But what I liked about him was he was protective of the AKB members.
Yeah.
As much as he pokes at them, did you notice he was kind of like, you know, trying to stick up for them and stuff. And I noticed, like, when Miho was doing her skit thing, like, you know, he'd even like kind of like held her back a little, and I'm like he's getting physically close with them, and I think that that's a really good sign that he's really, you know, he's welcome now, and I love that. But there's so much, like, that dude who did Aki P was absolutely hysterical, because he kept doing this. And he looked just like Aki P. I was like, oh my god, that is Aki P. And then, you know, you had the ex-idol who, they're like, we don't even know you, you're an idol, and like, and she was trying to be all serious, and then you had the AKB member, like, when you have that many perfect comedians, and then you have AKB, you know craziness is gonna happen. Then you have Goto-san, another guy who just knows how to instigate. Miyamoto, who's a stab, he's just so good at it. Then Miho, check out her variety chops with the whole, you know, the whole dating thing. I thought she was serious. I'm like, oh my god, like I guess you don't care because you're like 1 foot out of AKB. What do you care? Then Mariko trying to like pretend like she didn't have a guest over with that picture when you know she did. Mariko, by the way, looks like a mom at this point. Like I don't know, she had that like she looks like she has like 3 kids by now. But I'm just saying like. Overall, this episode, first of all, if you're an AKB fan, this is a must-watch, period. This is exactly how you should do variety. This is how AK Bingo should be, where, you know, when you're stabbing and you're insulting girls, you're doing it in a way that doesn't feel mean or angry or overly, like, hurtful. Like all the comments and insults, like when Chori was allowed to make fun of the fact that she's a complete, you know, like, don't have any work. It wasn't mean. It was like, okay, let's make fun of this. And like every point about this show was perfectly comedically timed. And also too, it was very insightful. Like when the girls were saying we have all this time off, I instantly think no wonder you get boyfriends because you're bored. You have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Like I just kept thinking like this show gives you a really good insight into AKB today.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things, right?
The one who said she was 5 days off, she's like, what do you do with all the free time? Read books, study, and learn something. It's like, yeah, you can't do anything else. If you remain within the rules of AKB, you're like, can't go out, have curfew.
Yeah, like I laughed probably every 30 seconds watching this. Like it was just that funny. But I also think the most important thing about this is that it's just exactly how I think you should do comedy with AKB. Like, you take these girls, you put them in these ridiculous situations, you have them do skits, you have them talk about their lives openly, you have all these comedians that are so sharp when it comes to commenting on their situation. And this show, just from beginning to end, is a much watch. Thank you, Good Enough Subs. What a champ you are for putting that out, because I didn't realize how much I love this show, but I just hope they keep doing it.
The comedians, the comedians that were there, I think 90% of them are a fan of idols because they've been with Gaya or with Nogi. Yeah, go ahead.
When Derek said "What a champ," you know, I'm saying the NMB song. What a people! What a people!
Yeah, well, I would dance. I would do that dance personally forever. Good Enough Subs is because this really made my whole year. Like, this is probably the best thing I've seen all year, variety-wise. And again, it's weird because we've had a bunch of bests, like one in a row the past couple weeks. Like, we've been complaining all year, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 boom. We've been getting awesomeness just shoved in our faces the past couple weeks. I'm so happy as an idol fan right now. Seriously, it's a must-watch. You have to see it.
I did love when Akimoto at the end was like, "What did this group turned into?
Yeah.
When was this allowed?"
I like when Mio and the dude, he's like, "Sotsukyou, so graduation."
Yeah.
Not just her, just the dude as well from the comedian.
That's what I mean. He's like, both of you graduate.
He's like, I just started on this show. He just.
So when they took in that real small dude, put him next to Mariko, and he just kept stabbing him. Like,
and
he's like a Cupid. He's like Cupid. Oh, man.
Best thing I've seen.
The guy who does and then.
Oh, so Shiny Kazaki. Yeah.
Go away.
Sunshine! Yeah!
Justice!
Justice!
Honestly, just one last thing. I'll say this. I really hope they get back on this show again and do like another one. But I also hope AK Bingo will take from this. And also, kudos to Miyamoto. If you had any doubt about Miyamoto being like a good comedian or caring about AKB, this established to me that he's a good dude. Like I really respect him. He knew what to do with these girls there, and he protected them. His comments were very protective. And I love that. I didn't realize that he was like that.
The beauty of this is it's being produced by Mori Sensei, the same dude who produces AK Bingo. So everything he learned from this, he will definitely put into the AK Bingo show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's good to hear because, like, the thing is, the past couple AK Bingos, I've had a real problem with it because it's been so mean-spirited, like pitting the girls against each other and making them cry even. But then, I don't know, then I saw Miyamoto, I'm like, maybe that's not really his call. Maybe he really does not want to necessarily pit these girls against each other. I don't know, but it was nice to see him protect them against the comedians. Even though it was just for fun, I could also sense a part of me felt like he really does care about these girls. Like, I don't know, it was cool. Go Miyamoto, seriously.
Cool.
Ooh.
Alright, so what else happened? Well, we can talk about another MV session that came out. The NGT coupling songs.
Yes.
Oh boy. Shall we let Yeo start with his favorites?
I think Yeo should go.
Please.
No,
Talk
Go for
about
it,
your
Yeo.
girl.
I want to be loud. It's my Oshi, man.
Okay.
Okay.
Shall we start with the other one then?
It's my Oshi, man.
Go ahead, DX.
Well, the other one, I need to look up the name, but it's basically introducing us to all the members and the song itself.
They look so gorgeous in that MV. I think the ones that stole attention from me, of course, Mahon and Katomina, just being there. I don't know. She had a very adult look, Katomina.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
It was more like,
Yeah, Flores, the big Katamina Oshi that watches our show and is your guys' friends, he picked a heck of a girl, man, because she was my Oshi originally, but till Mahon stole my heart with her absolute weirdness. And also, by the way, Ritan's sort of getting to me too, because Mahon's little sister is just as nutso. Like, I don't know, NGT has super hot girls and super weird girls, and then it has my Kamioshi. Like, I didn't realize how much I love NGT until this year, but like now they have a single on top of that is my favorite song AKB48's put out in years. I gotta be honest, like NGT is the you know what, like they are
they are killing it. They are killing it.
That MV actually was kind of fun. It was actually again it's nothing memorable.
Interject for a minute.
Yeah.
Gonna interject for a moment. The song name of the song we're talking about is Nandika ga Iru.
Yeah, Iru. Yeah, that's right.
Nandika Iru.
It was fun.
I do have to say the song starts, a little jolly, because there's a frickin' accordion in it, and it goes like, okay, but that's a Dutch thing, because every Dutch song has an accordion in it for some reason. It's annoying as hell, and this one has a pace, but in Dutch songs they go very slow, like it's like, oh, kill me now. No, this one, I liked it though. It has a nice feeling to it. Definitely a coupling song, of course, but very nice coupling song. But again,
it's
I like
easy
the
to
MV.
listen to. It's easy to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing some homework or so, need to put it on the background and just going along with the rhythm and getting the work done. Yeah, I can imagine yourself coding like that actually. So I like the song quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeo is ready for his comments.
Yeo, please take it away.
Take it away.
Well, I want the other song though, not this song.
Go ahead, do the other song.
Please.
Otona no Mae ni. I think before before we turn into adults, I think that song.
Yeah.
All I have to just say is like I was like, my Oshi is the center.
And who is your Oshi?
Oguma Tsugumi. So wait, how do you do it again? You go. You know the Tsugumin pose? You go like Tsugu.
You know it's funny, like there's our show and then there's Yeo doing showroom. Because that's how I feel like it is right now. I love it. It's
in this box there's separate entries, like we're doing two shows at once.
Yayo's showroom, and then there's us like trying to be serious. And then, like he's over there, he's an idol show right now. No, I get it though, Yayo, because like if it was Tani as the center, I'd be doing the same thing. So I'd be so happy because she's never gonna be centered. So it's just I'm so happy for you because when I saw that I was like, oh boy, Yayo's gonna lose his mind, and I know you've been excited all week about it. So.
I'm turned my colors into NGT right now, you know.
Good.
I can definitely see that.
No, I thought the MV wasn't too bad though. It was fun. It was different. Seeing the girls just do their thing and like the way I gotta be honest, like they don't feel, I don't know if young is the right word, but as inexperienced as maybe they actually are, because they all have that air of like professionalism about them now. I don't know if I'm making sense there, but that's what I got from it. Like it was youthful and it was like very cute, but it was also like, wow, like they're like real bona fide idols. Like I don't know, it felt very idol-like, the song.
Very good.
I don't know.
Another thing came out.
What did you think?
Me for that song?
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
I actually don't have that much of an opinion on this one, actually.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's not much to say. It's just there. It's a good idol song. It's nothing memorable because it's a coupling song, unfortunately. But it's a song. But it is fun. What's more memorable is that Yayo's very happy about it. That's what makes me happy.
Yeah, sugu.
On that note, another song a while back showed us preview. Equal Love has put out their second single, and it's definitely a Christmas song.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. I watched on Twitter Sashi listening to it, and she's like, "Oh, this is so nice," and it's pretty good. And she could be proud of her group. I don't know how much she has influenced because we don't see that, but yeah, pretty good. Just their first song was pretty good, I would say. It's still stuck in my head sometimes.
Yeah.
And now their second single is also a good follow up.
You like it?
Just like I listened to it a couple of times, and it's an easy song to listen to. I would say I like it, and it's a bit more like it's for us in the Netherlands. It's a bit too early because we have another party before the whole Christmas thing. So for my personal feeling, it's a bit too early. So, but for the rest of the world, yeah, it's the perfect timing, I would say.
Well, you were saying too early. Right now in my store, there's a giant freaking Christmas tree already set up. So it's like every time I go to work, there's this giant Christmas tree, Christmas music. We already had a marathon where we played all Christmas songs. So
oh wow, what the heck?
Hey,
you should.
It's America nowadays, everywhere. So
yeah, well, yeah, true.
But yeah.
You should be in the Philippines. They set up freaking Christmas trees in September, man.
Yeah, I am all for equal love. I want this group to succeed because the girls in the group they're just awesome. Watching that documentary really made me want to support them as people. I have just a general aversion to holiday songs. I don't like them. Like when Halloween Night came out, I instantly hated it. But it's just it's one of those things that it's not a bad song. You know, I did find myself after I watched the MV a few times. I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll like this. But I couldn't tell you even the chorus even after listening to it a few times because it was just in and out of my head. I just don't care for it that much. But I do like the girls in it. I like the video too. I like my girl, the main girl. What's her name? He told me, Hiromi. He told me.
He told me.
She's running and and it's like more focused on her. It's those dimples, man, they kill me every time. So and plus she just looks awesome in her Christmas gear. So I was just like, I'm down. Like the girls look great. Like it's but I like the MV more than I like the song, and I think there's a problem when I say that. I want to like both.
All right. Coming up later is the STU48 new single. There are going to be 7 different versions coming out.
Oh,
yeah, what is wrong with that? Okay, first of all, this is a marketing genius move, but they're doing like 1 hour of the documentary on each one, so you have to like get all 7 in order to see the documentary in full. Are you like that's crazy? Like, God, that's so mean. It's evil. It's evil, but it's smart.
But it's so smart.
It's smart, but it's so evil.
You gotta pay for the boat some way, so.
Here, what'd be funny, Robin? Is that they had a piece of the boat that you got with every CD, and then eventually, like at this point, that boat doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, it maybe exists in Lego form, I think, or something.
No, you know where? I'm telling you, Taipei 48 took it, and they're off sale in the world right now because apparently we haven't seen either. So.
Yeah.
They've been gone a while.
Hey, it was Ave Maria's last handshake though.
I
Yes.
know.
She's going.
It was Mayu. Right?
So TP848 is going to sail before STU.
Pun. Yeah, the
Speaking of
Mayu
handshakes,
yeah.
Speaking of handshakes, today it was the last handshake for Mayu as well, and
Yeah.
something special happened.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah, Kieran.
Yukirin did something funny. The bunny showed up again, so I was like, ah, there's
Yep.
that bunny. Who is it this time?
Mochichi! Mochirin! Mochirin!
Did you see what Mayu kept trying to do though when like she was in front of all the fans and like they were doing the chant and then like Kieran had the thing on and
Yeah.
Mayu kept trying to hit her right between the legs. I'm like, Mayu, what are you doing? Come on, man. Let's PG.
It's the last day, so who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it was funny. There was Yukirin doing that. That was a special moment. And then they did the,
Yeah.
the Mayu chant, and she does like Mayu.
Yep.
It's like,
Beautiful.
very, very cutesy on that side.
Took the so sad. Took the kanashi.
What's coming up later in the month on the 13th of December is also Fairy Wink with their single, and coupling songs will be filled with the runner-ups of the Junkin, so we will still get a
Yep.
Panda song that's coming up. What do you think of those? You know, do you think Fairy Wink is gonna kill it, or?
I actually don't know what to expect from them. Actually, is it going to be a cutesy song? Well, Aramaki Music is trending towards the cutesy song, I would say. So I don't know, man. I'm hoping for a more upbeat song, but I think it's going to be a cutesy song. So.
That's a tough call, man. I don't know. I think it will do well for the lolly fans, for the kawaii fans, the people that like that kind of music, because I can almost guarantee that's the kind of song it's gonna be. I know I'm gonna instantly hate it, but I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
Was it that Sashi and Yukirin? Was it Mayu in the unit song? No, it was. What was
No.
it? Michan, yeah. So were they in the coupling song as well?
No.
I don't
They
think
lost.
so. No.
They lost.
They lost
Yeah.
Just
to,
before, yeah.
Fuchan. The
Yeah.
ice cream single. The ice cream coupling.
All right.
I think
Yeah.
Panda Girl is gonna
Who's that?
be the main seller of the CD.
Yeah. She had a lot of fans there.
The leader of the cult.
Yeah, and the cult. It's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. The highlight of the bad Junkin this year. Yeah, what do you want to
pretty
say?
much.
It was funny though, cause like we get fairies, pandas, ice cream, and kiss no tempura.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Weirdest group of all. The marketing you can do for this
Well,
though
it's
would be
Going to be
insane.
this-
all over the place.
This may be a good segment then to the next topic. So these are all different units, and
Oh, yeah.
we had commenter of the week is Are We On? And he asked us if you can make your own units, which members would be in it. So who would like to go first, or who wants to go last?
I'll go.
I'm going first then. I'm going to for a bit of a variety unit, I would say. So mine consists of Chibaeri, Macharin, Noepi, Hiwatan, and for the veteran style, it's going to be Nakanishi, Meow, and Oyashizuka.
Nice.
So
nice. Well,
you've been watching
yeah.
AK Bingo that's coming up. They are all performing in the women comedic tournament, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
So I'm going for a comedic variety type of unit, Sambatsu, and I think it's going to be quite an interesting MV and song that's going to roll
Be
off
awesome.
from that one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Be awesome. What kind of MV do you see? Like if you just had to think of it, like pretend you were the director, what would you do with them?
I would probably do classic variety style, bit of the old Batsu game Gaki no Tsukai.
Oh, that'd be
usually does at the end of
fun!
the year, and then carrying it around with a song for it. So something like that.
Please let that happen. That would be so awesome.
All right. I've got one actually. I named it the Heavens Angels. It's
Nice.
You don't even have a name for it? Oh god.
I have one too. Wait to hear mine.
it's consists of 7 members, and the group is made of Okada Nana being the center, Murayama Yuri, Nozawa
Of course.
Reina, Takahashi
Ooh.
Juri, Komiyama Haruka, Taniguchi
Nice.
Megu, and Fukuoka Sena.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
represent.
So basically Team 4 and
15 Gen?
15 Gen in there.
I like it. I like it, Robin. That's good. Now, what would yours be?
The MV?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking, since you know you have the new unit with Komiyama being the white, maybe combine that. But you can also just do different types. You can also have like a schoolgirl stuff, or you can do actually a little futuristic because these are all. I think the majority of them are great dancers. So you can have like also like a dance type of song. You can go like all around in this because these are all of them. I would say, well, Nozawa Reina is maybe on the list slightly lower, but I really like her. The rest of them are future aces. These are like top members you would really want to see, and so you can do a vocal, you can do anything with this group, in my mind.
I love it. No, yeah, it's a very versatile group, and that also could potentially be something we're really actually gonna see, in the future. I actually think yours might actually be the most logical one. Like you were saying before we did this, like
that's why I had to rule logical because maybe it will happen. And then
I actually think it might. Like yours might actually be a reality.
We still think AKS is listening to this, so.
All right. Yayo, go. What do you got?
My team is called Revision.
Revision. Okay.
Okay.
Cause it's basically Tentomochu but with new members. So like.
Okay. Cool.
So the two main members from the Tentomochu is here, Mako and Achan.
Yeah.
So I'll give out like one unknown member here. Mizuno Airi from SKE.
Oh, nice.
She's a drafty member.
Mm-hmm.
I love this girl since, so like she's SKE. Then Mita Mao from NMB.
Okay.
Mita Mao, Oda Ayaka. Ogumatsugumi. Yeah, alien. Then Ogumatsugumi from NGT, because Tsugu.
Yeah.
And my center, Sakaki Miyu, all the way, Kuka.
Oh, Kuka.
I love it.
Love it.
Revision.
Very good.
So you swapped you swapped Shibuya Nagisa and Kitagawa Gyoa out for the members you've mentioned.
Yeah, there's also still Tentomochu and Meru is also Tentomochu.
Yeah.
What would your single MV? What would it be? Like how do you envision it with Kuka as the center?
It's gonna be like a dance idolish song kind of thing.
Cool.
Like it's not as heavy as dancing. It's like mixed, cause like Kuka is just amazing at dancing. So I'm like, ooh, I want to dance Tentomochu single. Kind of like Danshi. What do you call that? Danshi Kenkyu Taisho and like their debut song. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, revision.
Oh man.
Derek.
Yeah, so are we? Thank you so much. He's been a long time watcher, his first time commenting. What a great first comment. All of our commenters, by the way, are ridiculously awesome. But I don't know, every once in a while you get a comment like that and it really makes you think.
How about I spent like almost 2 hours reading all the comments, like 77 of them, and they all are like this big.
No, how about I spent like 3 hours of my day like writing them back? But here's the thing, like our commenters really are good at understanding what we're talking about. They're very opinionated, which I love.
I love that.
And also too, I learned so much from them, and we all, I don't know, we love our fans.
Yeah,
they're the best. They
are
actually literally the best.
Someone answered my question from last week about which member it was that has the connections on AK Bingo, and I can look at the comments right now because then sounds will go up. If you can help me out, it's about a Team 8 member. It's Yabate Ayu, can I say? Is that the one? Yabate Ayu?
Yamabe Ayu, you mean?
Yeah, maybe that's her.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like all of our lovely friends and fans that watch, like they're really good at like picking out stuff. Also too, is just a quick aside. I actually hung out with one of our fans. His name's Tran. We hung out yesterday and had like a 2 or 3 hour discussion on AKB. So awesome when I can do that. And by the way, if any of you are in LA, come say hi. Like I'll buy you a tea or something. Like we can just hang out and chill and talk about AKB because it's what we do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're all all very cool. But yeah, are we? Great question. I really gave this a lot of thought over the week and did some research and okay. So here's my group. So they're called Yabai Ko Kyo Kaisen, which means the edge of sanity, like girls that are crazy. So Yabai Ko Kyo Kaisen. AKS, if you're listening, make it happen. First of all, Mira Shigeana, you gotta have her. She's nuts.
Oh yeah.
Vivian, just for the Genki spirit. Mahahon, because she's just the weirdest person on the planet. Sugahara Riko, because you can't have Mahahon without her sister. Fresh Lemon, because she's Fresh Lemon. Kaotan, because she is, obviously, a really good leader type. Yeah, exactly. You gotta have Chiori. Gotta have Churi. Churi is also one of the oddballs that we don't necessarily think are oddballs, but live, she always does something that catches your eyes. Yamada Nanami, because I just want to see her walk around doing her thing with her hands. It's just amazing. Jury, because when that girl talks, she always goes to like left field when she says stuff, and it's always so weird. Nozawa Reina, because she's super intelligent, but she also knows how to troll people really well. Case in point, the new girl. She trolled Nachan so well. Riko P, because Riko P is just one of the weirdest girls ever in HKT, and also she's also so much fun. And you got to bring the sexy. You got to have Riko P because she brings the sexy. Okapa, because you can't. She's an elf, from Lord of the Rings. So you got to have Okapa the elf. And then Kuka, just because I love Kuka and I just want her in everything. My captain, Tani Mariko. Now, you might think that's crazy, but here's the thing. My MV would be this. AKS, you're free to steal my idea. I won't ask for royalties. Like, I picture them all in showrooms, all on the screen at once, and they're all doing their showrooms, and then Tani gets out of her showroom and crawls into, like, Mirashige's showroom, and then they crawl into Bibian's, and then they just each grab each other out of the showrooms. And by the way, this is like a 12-minute MV with like the first 5-6 minutes they're all talking, doing their weird things. So we get a sense of each of them, and then it breaks into like this cool song. Tani starts it off, and she brings them all out. She brings them out of the MV, and then they end up on this huge stadium. And in the stadium is all the AKB members watching them, supporting them. And then all the fans are like doing the Woda guy with them, and then like at the end they're all crowd surfing and jumping in the crowd and going nuts, and then like there's just a set, Tani Mariko ascends to heaven, and that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's why he is a writer for a living. My God, man, that's very detailed.
Yes.
But I can actually picture it, and just steal it, AKS. This is a very good idea. Maybe not even with the same unit, but wow. My God.
Yeah, it's just, again, like I'm telling you, AKS needs to hire me because I would totally make that MV and it would be the most memorable thing. Because can you just picture like Fresh Lemon doing stuff with lemons, then Bibian jumps in and takes the lemon, just throws it because that's Bibian, and then like you have Riton and Mahon doing their thing, and they'd be in the same MV showroom, like just doing the weird crap that they do. I can't even put it into words. They're just weird. And doing their impressions, and then Tani Mariko comes in and does like, I am Tani Mariko, and then it's just nuts. It's just the insanity. That's why I call him Yabai Kokyo Kaisen. The edge of sanity. Thank you guys.
Wow. Much.
AKS, please take it.
8. Okay.
Yeah, I really thought
of. Yeah.
I have news that just
news?
came in just now. See, I actually said, I'm saying it right now. Kitaria is releasing a photo book in January 17.
Oh.
Ooh.
It just came in. Like, Yahoo just announced it. Like, it's
Nice.
I'm reading it
Breaking
right now.
news. Well, that's a
Breaking
good tie-in to the
news.
rest of the conversation. Lately,
Oh, wow.
a lot of photo books came out, right? Or coming up.
Right, yeah,
the
especially
46 side.
especially this year, I would say. Not even 46 side. It's everything on idol related, and it's the graph here. Maybe there's like now a how do you say that? Like a larger audience that wants it, or maybe it's easier for overseas to get it because it's being sold right away. Case in point, the pre-orders for Neru's Keikazaka's
called that
Oh,
one.
yeah, 120,000 pre-orders. That's already
I need
insane.
to get one
Wow.
still. I need to pre-order mine.
Yeah, the first copy was raised for like for a fund, for like a what do you call it, charity fund, and it's how much you got it? Like a lot of money. I forgot.
Wow.
But so we had like the last time discussion about should Gaya do this or their image will get spoiled on that side. I would say this is amazing. This is just, you know, very welcome to see. And now with Kitari also doing it as well. Let's see, how much is it? Raises first print of Nagamaneri first photo book to 120,000. Oh, okay. No, so it wasn't a charity, right?
Here, you know what though? But remember, all these people were like, "Oh, you know, she shouldn't do it." Yeah, look at all those wodas buying it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, shut up. You know you want it.
No,
Good for Nero.
it's very good to see. SKE was also coming up with one that's 100% SKE. Well, it's 100% SKE. They said it's filled with SKE members. That's what they meant with 100%. But not all members are in it. Case in point, their most flagship important person hasn't been contacted for the interview, Matsui Jurina.
Yeah, what is that?
Exactly. What?
I am.
Got them SKE without her. What the hell?
I am torn on two sides. I would say what the hell, and the other side I understand. So you want to do a different selection of SKE members, you know, the real SKE, not just the. You see always these people in everywhere, like Matsui Jurina. You know, she is very popular. So maybe they've seen a lot of her, and now they want to get the other members a chance. Still, it's weird that Matsui Jurina wasn't approached even. Hey, do you want to do this interview?
I mean, yeah, like from what we've heard, it sounds a lot like she just wasn't even part of the conversation, and I have to question the logic behind that. She's your flag girl. Like, even if you want to give other girls a chance, which is great, I mean, she's SKE. Like, she is SKE48. Like, you can't. It's like having. I don't even know how to put it into words. It's just. It was very disconcerting. I hope it doesn't mean anything. I hope that there's nothing to it. Like, it was. Maybe it was just, we're just going to do it without her. Who cares? Like, I don't know. Maybe it was that simple of a decision. But you have to wonder at what point, A, does that just make Jurina want to say, I give up? You know, I mean, or B, is it a sign of something to come? You know, could we actually be seeing Jurina going back to AKB permanently or something? I don't know. I mean, it's just, there could be a lot of different
That would be so bad if they do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. I do love the fact that also now Watanabe Rika from AKB48 is now another cover girl. You know, she's getting a lot of work in the. I would say, on Kaya's side, she's the most asked one to be on covers or like photo shoots or graphics. So good for her. Pretty good to see. And it just keeps going on and on. There's like now calendars for like the legs they showed on all that on all 48 groups. Graphics in the future. I heard Yuna is Murayama Yuri and Okada Nana is doing another graphic shoot together. So all those fans are very happy to hear that. Just it keeps going and going. This train is just it isn't stopping anytime soon. I would say. I think Josh mentioned it's like, oh man. There's so many photo books. We even made a joke that he had so many photo books. He even reviewed a new one recently. Video just came up, and
Yeah.
it's amazing to see. I think this is a stellar year for them, for all those photo books and graphic shoots. So points on them.
I'm saying.
Go ahead, Yayo. Go ahead, please.
I'm saying the best photo book so far that came out is actually Kotani Riho's. So just throwing it out there. You should get one if you haven't yet. Because that thing, yeah, it was like as soon as I opened this, it's like, what the heck is this photo book? I just cracked myself as soon as I opened it.
Wow.
Like she was like you know, like a chess match, like shogi.
Yeah.
She was in bikini doing shogi. I'm like, she's doing random things in bikini. I'm like, what the frick is this?
Yeah,
strip shogi.
The thing with Riho's was it was very like dirty looking though too. Like it was kind of not dirty as in like obscene. Like it just had like this real like not pretty feel to it. And I think Riho did that because of her upbringing, because she was poor, from what I understand. And it really made me like her. And then, like, right after she put out the photo book, she announced she's gonna graduate, which really bummed me out. So I was just like, she's like, do want to get out of there. So the grab your books makes sense for all these members. Like, how many members are in AKB48, Gaya, Nogi, that are drop dead gorgeous, that are just like specimens of humanity that don't even make sense genetically? And it's just, why not put them in a photo book? Why not put them in several? Like, Kita Rie, she should have been at least 10 by now. That girl is perfect looking on every level. Like, Komiharu, Katamina, like, all these girls should have photo books like that.
Did you see the one with Shinoda Mariko, the recent one?
Oh, man.
Oh, you mean the recent photo shoot with her, you mean?
Oh, boy, yeah.
Oh, boy.
So, there's this one, I like the blue one. It's very. It shows that she's actually very fit, very, I would say, almost ripped. But it's, wow. It's maximum revealing, I would say.
Yeah, like I mean, they're going that direction. But again, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. You have a body. You're not gonna have that body when you're 30 or 40. You might as well show it off. And also, too, like I never look at these things from like that kind of a standpoint. Like it's erotic, but it's suggestive, but not overly to the point where it should be, you know, X-rated. And I like that. I think it's cool that it's tantalizing, but it's also, to me, anytime I look at these books, seriously, I look at them as tributes to these beautiful girls. I don't look at them as nothing more than that. They're just tributes. And like Sashi's book was like almost like what it was. I mean, you're clear. I mean, she didn't even have underwear on in the one shot.
It's on the edge. It's
on the edge, but it never goes over, you know, and that's not a bad thing.
It's same with Mayu in the pool, you know.
Yeah, but it was cool, you know.
Yeah.
Remember that picture of Sashi? Like, they edited Aki P's
I know,
face?
no.
Oh, yeah.
Man. We were on a good vibe, you know, good images, and then he throws that out there, and now only see Aki.
Yeah, now I can just see. No. Here's the thing. I see that guy that was on the comedy show. Dude, I can't get over that.
The Watame Mayu post he did. He made a whole career out of it.
It's so funny.
Oh, man.
But yeah, photo books are doing great and amazing. So
I
look
say
forward
more.
to that. All right. So, yo, how are you on time?
I can still stay for a bit, but like I need to get dressed, so.
Yeah, so.
Break since.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this would be a good time for you to dip out and do what you got to do, because I'm assuming we're going into the documentary review now.
You are correct, sir. So, yeah, do you want to say anything before you then leave, or?
Okay, Kitaria's photo book, buy it!
Yes.
Okay, before you go, recommendation for next week?
The bingo, I guess. The getting 10 million? Like, a million? Was it 10 million? I think it was 10 million yen.
Yeah, it was 10 million yen for the women comedic attire, or something like that. So, we'll see what happens next week. Thank you, Yeo.
Thank you, Yeo.
I'm sorry! Bye!
Alright.
League sucks! I'm watching it anyways! Bye!
Bye-bye.
Oh, boy.
Alright, in the meantime, I have to set this up well, because he left and I need to edit a little bit.
Yeah, that'll not be up though.
Yeah, so in the meantime, talk about recommendations for next week.
Well, yeah, basically stole mine, AK Bingo, with the whole training for the comedy tournament.
Yeah.
And for the rest, maybe Nogi Bingo or something like that. The usual, I would say. So,
What about the AKB48 show? I think there's a good one in there.
Is there?
Is he typing on Facebook? I'm gonna. Yeah. I hate you.
I'll take a look. Just a sec. Just a sec.
Why? I don't know why.
He's like the annoying little brother. That's what he is. He's an annoying little brother.
Kitariya photo book.
All right.
I know. My recommendations would be actually well, you guys said, I mean, I don't know, Kaya's Kakinai has been really on point. So I don't know what they have this week or anything coming up. But
the Nogi Bingo, I haven't watched that one yet. That's coming up.
Yeah.
It's the dating think, with the
Oh, right.
2D guys, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would check those out. But also too, well, I guess I'll save my plug for the whole thing I'm doing late at the end of the show. But yeah, just overall, I think those would be really good things to check out and stuff. Also too, something for our commenters. Arwi came up, with a super creative question, and I know all of you are very creative. Let's keep that going. I'd love to get more kind of situations. I know we've been asked before, what was like, why did we get into AKB? Like, what was our experiences? I would say we've already all talked about that over the course of all these episodes, but that's also kind of a fun thing to think about, is like, our introductions, why we are who we are today with it. But I think it feels like we've already covered that.
We did that, I think. We
Yeah.
actually did it in details. Like,
Yeah,
I don't remember what episode though, but
Yeah. Well, that's okay. They can go look for it, and then they can watch all our episodes trying to find it. That's always a good thing.
yeah.
But I would say, like, I'd be curious to know also what our fans think about their units. So if anybody wants to put their units in the comments, please let me know, because I know that'll just end up being a fun discussion. And again, this is, by the way, no rules. You can have anybody from AKB48, or you can go Robin's route and be logical, because his actually will probably happen. You can go my route, which will never happen, but at least it'd be funny to think about.
Never know.
DX is actually pretty solid. I could actually see his going too. But
Yeah, I had a funny one as well. Just a good one.
yeah, it was awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
Mm.
Well, basically Sentomo, but it's yeah. I mean, so let's hear yours too. That could be something you guys could think about in your comments, because I know you guys are all going to write me like Bibles, so
All right.
it's part of one of the Bible chapters.
Thanks for stalling. I fixed the video screen, and now we get into the review part of the documentary.
yeah.
The time has
Oh,
come.
my.
Are you guys ready for this one?
You mean the time to cry horribly? That should be what it's called.
Yeah.
God.
Like
Oh,
I've
boy.
seen these documentaries before, and it was okay to watch. I still cried and stuff. But now, because I was taking notes, it's just I paid more attention, or like too much attention, and it's just like, oh. All right, but let's get into it then. Time has come. We open up in just at a platform at a station of a Shinkansen that's going from Hayabusa to Tokyo. We see Draft Kenkyusei, or for Team A, Nishiyama Arena, boarding the Shinkansen, going to Tokyo for the first time, leaving everything behind, and the voiceover saying the draft system, what it is, what it goes, and she's going from Aomori to Tokyo. It's all because in 2013 it happened that the graduations going up with Shinoda Mariko, Itano Tomi, and Akimoto Saika, and a bunch of others leaving that year. So a lot of pillars left. So I had a feeling we need to fix this. So they show up to another one, draft of Team A, Takita Kayoko. And they are learning how to apply makeup and learning how to dance. In the meanwhile, you see Takamina in the back looking on, and she's giving them feedback. I can see you're actually having fun, and that's a good look. You don't have to force your smile, just enjoy it and show up with that. So that was pretty good advice. We then move on to Team K, practicing, and you see like a lot of members. You're thinking, okay, that's very interesting. You hear Hirari saying to Oshima Yuko, "You have a nice body," and so I can't compete against Hirari. While Nozawa Reina looks on, and just seeing her jump from JKT now in Team K, it's very differently. But she's still looking a little bit lost, and we'll find out later that she's doing fine. You see Komiyama Haruka, a very young one, going to Oshima Yuko, and Yuko is giving her tips, and she's like, "Oh, thank you very much," and she's writing it down because she was still Kenkyusei at that time.
Yeah.
We then see Fujita Nana, Miyazaki Miao, and Shimada Haruka just laughing around. We move then to the draft Kenkyusei Gotomoe, very young Gotomoe, and feel very close connection to Oshima Yuko. She feels she was handpicked by Oshima Yuko during the time. Her fellow draft Kenkyusei, Shimoguchi Hinana, they're all making notes and they're getting lessons by Oshima Yuko. And you see this performance role Yuko has, the captain feeling. But we all get the feeling, hey, there's something in the air.
Yeah, something is up. Yeah.
Yeah. We move on to December 31st, 2013, the 64th edition of Kohaku Gassen. And Yuko is talking about it's getting lonely. All my friends are gone or are leaving, and Takamina is talking about the replacements for dismember. It can be done. There is no replacement for these people. You need to be your own entity. And you see the big gathering for Yuko standing there. Takamina talking about, Gassen is amazing. We're gonna have fun. AKB still has their moments. We still need to learn stuff, even though they had their peak in 2012, and they still had the feeling they can still move on. But you can see Oshima Yuko looking on at Takamina, and Takamina knows something's gonna happen. And would you know it, Oshima Yuko, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. First of all, we see also Paruru looking on, and she has Solstice feeling.
Yeah.
Something's up. There is something in the air. They do Kochuri fortune cookie, very nice, everything goes well. And then Yuko does her announcements. She announces graduation on Kohaku, and she got a little flack for that because it just ruined Kohaku apparently. All the tabloids was talking about that news and not Kohaku itself. I would say, just pick your own moment to say it, and she chose that. They did heavy rotation, very fine. Yuko came in the back, and someone asked, "How do you feel?" And she's like, "Oh, I feel so relieved, I feel so fine." And then just the members who didn't know, crying everywhere, tears everywhere. Just all the people from Not Yet, just Yui crying her eyes out. All their kohais. Sashi just losing it. Mayu's like, "I'm not doing okay," and it moves on to do that side.
Sashi was hard to watch.
Yeah.
You don't see Sashi break like that, and just to see her so destroyed, the whole thing up to this point, you just felt like you said like that air was there in the whole documentary up to that point, even though it wasn't that many minutes. But then when she announced it. And I remember watching that Kohaku live. I watched it live.
What's going on? What just happened?
My jaw hit the floor.
Exactly.
And just you could see the girls trying to keep it together when they're doing the next song, and it was like, well, I don't even want to be here.
Exactly. I said, do we need to do this song? Can we just get it over with and leave?
Yeah, it was
such a feeling. It was so
rough, man. Rough.
So Kohaku is over. They all are about to leave. Who else then shows up is Miyazawa Sai, all the way from Shanghai.
Yeah.
And people were just, happy to see her, and she's helping around. She's like, "So you're staff now?" It's like, "Yeah, that was my plan today."
It was awesome.
Just leave me off. And she said Yuko had a nice smile when she announced it, and that's pretty good to see. Very happy for her. But you can tell she's like a little. It's bound to happen. She's still the same generation. Yuko then leaves and calls her dad right away, and she's talking about, "Did you see it? Did I provide my message over?" And Dad was like, "You did fine, everything's okay." "What did Grandma say?" "Oh, I didn't tell Grandma." It's like, oh no.
Oh boy.
Grandma didn't know. I think this old woman is just watching TV. "Oh look, Yuko's on TV," and then announces that she's leaving the group. I think maybe she had a heart attack. Well, Yuko said, "Then I'll see her in the morning," and then leaving for that side. She then asked the question, "Why am I in AKB?" And at first it was for her own dreams. She wants to be the #1 actress in Japan, and she finds that being in AKB will get her to way. But in the later years she realized that it's for her friends. She's in there because the commodity, your nakama, if you say in Japanese, of course.
Yeah.
If you have this connection, you've been together through hardships, building this group from the ground up to this mega power has become. But yeah, after all the leaving of the graduations, and then it started with Achan, like we said, this whole domino effect going down. The spirit went down. It's like there are only 2 right now left in Team K, the original. Well, now it's gone. But in that time, when Yuko announced it, hey, only 2 of them stayed around, and it really shows that even though AKB was doing well, it wasn't doing that well inside the group itself, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah, like
future
when
looked
you-
a bit bleak. Yeah, the future looked
Yeah.
like
When you looked at like Umi-chan and Kobayashi Kana, I think those were the two in Team K that were left, or second gen or whatever, I forget. And I think it was this Team K. The look of worry on their face, like what are we gonna do? Like, you know, like we're already kind of out the door. Like you can sense like the AKB that was so cohesive with each other up to Achan's graduation announcement and then her subsequent graduation was no longer cohesive. And then you lost Mariko, you lost Tomochin, you lost Saika, pillars of AKB, Saichan, you know, in Exile, in Shanghai 48. It's just they just wasn't the AKB anymore of the golden era, and this was the beginning of the crumbling of that time and this rise of the newer AKB that we have today, the Mayu Sashi era. But it's just very fascinating, the transition you see there in the looks and the faces of these girls, as you're saying. It didn't feel like something was right there, right? So very interesting.
Next day, it's January 1st. The New Year stage is coming out. And Takamina said, I knew. She told me before. She was already planning it like during 2013. But then certain things happened and she was convinced I can stay a little bit longer. Yokoyama Yui was shown how much she admires Oshima Yuko, how much she's learned from her, what a dear senpai she is. We see them performing Sayonara Call. Moving on to January 6th, and they're in the Oahu, if I'm saying it, Oahu Islands in Hawaii.
Oahu.
wow.
Yeah, okay. You know, of course, the Nemesu special was filming then. The big one that they had to film in Hawaii for 6 days. Yuko looking amazing in the hotel room, and she's, you know, she didn't get sunburned, and you see like a very I'm famous Koji with her glasses, and then they're like, was she like wearing something furry or
Nose with her.
No.
I don't know. It was like she was like this sidekick of, you know, yeah, I'm getting off of the riches of Oshima Yuko. It was pretty funny to see. Yeah, then we get the interview of Yuko saying she's losing voice with the fans ever since the announcement. She has the feeling. She's like, my voice will not be heard anymore. Restarting her career. The biggest thing that hurt her was she's no longer part of AKB. That feeling to her, it felt so saddened to her that she started crying a little bit. She's like, go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, to go back to like having Mariko Shinoda on the episode of the Gaya, she said how lonely she is. And that was so powerful to hear Mariko say that, because I don't think she was lying. Maybe she was, I don't know, but I think like it was weird to say how she was looking at AKB and they were so happy together. And she's like, I missed that. And Yuko could already sense that, I think, when she made the announcement. She's like, wow, like, I'm not going to have this family anymore. I'm not going to go to a dance room and have some girls say I have a nice body and then I teach them. And it's all gone. Like, that's got to be hard to walk away from.
You've been there in the
black hole, pretty much,
Yeah, you've been there in the group for how many years? And you have to give that up. You spent a big part of your life there, you know, adjusting yourself, making the person who you are today, and she had that realization of that's gonna be gone now, and I think that really just do you have any regrets? It's not no regrets, but she feels sorry for leaving all her kohais behind. She has the feeling I can teach them so much more, and I feel like I'm abandoning them.
Yeah, that was powerful, right? And then I keep thinking about Mariko and seeing the sadness that seemed to glint in her eyes, like this past week when I watched that episode, and I'm thinking like, I wonder if Yuko knew back then, oh, this is what I'm gonna end up doing, is like making food for 20 people and posting on Instagram when it's really just me eating by myself, like Mariko did. It's very, I don't know. It's just kind of it was a very haunting feeling I got when I saw Mariko's Instagram post all that food, and then I saw Mariko's face when she was talking, and then I thought about Yuko when I watched the documentary. And I mean, I think Yuko's doing fine, but it's just haunting, you know? Like, is this what happens to idols when they leave? You know, something like AKB. You know?
Well, they still sometimes hang around. I know that for a fact Yuko is still doing stuff with Sai and Akimoto.
Which is cool.
Yeah, and we know Takamina's hanging out with Achan a lot, with Michan. And but I don't know about Shinoda actually. She shows up sometimes. Maybe she has her own friends.
Yeah.
It's always a question.
She seems like she went. Yeah, she went a different direction or something.
Yeah, exactly. She basically. I have a feeling she almost cut ties with all.
Yeah, that's what it kind of felt like, didn't it? Like that's what I'm saying. It was sad. I think about all the members that have graduated and how they've disappeared on us, or you know, we never hear about them anymore. And is this why? Because they just end up living their lives in total anonymity, like in Japan, and especially the ones that say they're giving up the entertainment industry altogether. Like Suchan, she's gonna be a distant memory in 5 years. We're not even gonna remember who she is, and she's just gonna be in Tokyo living a normal life. I mean, it's just weird to think that.
Exactly.
When you played in a stadium of 50,000 people, you know, and you're gonna go hang out in your little apartment and do nothing.
We then moved on to January 13th, the Kanda Myojin Coming of Age ceremony.
Oh yeah.
And well,
cool.
Yeah, the only highlights for me was seeing Mayu, you know, giving this feeling what this is gonna be my year, since Yuko announced graduation. She knew what's going to happen. We got a showing of Paruru, and how ironic this was. That Paruru was saying, well, the new chapter is starting, I plan on staying a long time and trying to help the group. Well, maybe later this year she totally changed her mind of what's about to happen.
Yeah, something happened to her. Something clicked, and she's like literally switched on a pivot, man. And I would pay a lot of money to know what it was that made her change. Because seriously,
I think I have an idea what made her change, but we'll get to that later in the documentary.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So we move on to January 26th, 2014, Request Hour. We see Maeda Mitsuki from Team 4, just, you know, on somewhere. She's hiding under a table or anything.
Yeah.
And she's talking about Sashihara, and then Sashi shows up and she's praising her, and then she, you know, it's like, oh my god, just she's very happy that she was really hoping that Sashi would just, you know, have a little talk with her, and Sashi's very nice to this very young girl. And she starts crying because she's so happy, and who else than Nachan shows up.
Yeah.
To the rescue. It's like, why are you crying? It's like, oh, I'm so happy. Sashi prays. Oh, that's that voice, that very happy voice. Like, oh, aren't you glad? It's like, oh, stop it. You just cute Hugo. We see then Team K doing their practice. I love this part. So they are performing the song Sase, and during the song, you have a part where they announce their names. So they're practicing the names, and they're like, okay, serious, blah, blah, blah. And right on the button, they get it. They're like, yes, we made it. Okay, if we do it like this, we have no problem. Then they do the actual performance. And I knew who messed it up. So Hirari was slightly started a little late saying this. And there was another part where someone said their name and was a little bit low.
Nozawa. Reina was slow, and she even got chastised for it. They even told her.
Yeah, so she was a little bit slow on that, and that's why everybody had to finish up. And Mutatomo predicted, it's like, Mutatomo. Oh,
yeah.
I loved Yuko's expression at the back. They were like, dang it.
You should have shouted.
Yeah. That was pretty fun. I love these parts when they mess up, but they laugh about it. That's reality, because you can do it, you know, with a voiceover, and then they're like, oh, we did it. No, but this, you know, they put the effort in, they practice, and then it fails, but they can laugh. All right, let's just move on. And that's why I love Request Hour, because it's not too serious. Some songs are, but most of them are like, oh, they're performing because people vote for them.
Yep.
It's fun.
We then see AKB48 Team 4 performing Zaka, and of course Captain Michan showing up with the new Team 4, because last documentary it showed that the Team 4 was disbanded.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh boy.
red letters on the screen. What the hell is happening? People are afraid.
Uphill.
Some people are falling down. A shuffle. I'm
Yep.
still waiting for this year's shovel and last year's shovel. So, but shovels are
It's
horrible
coming.
in the end. You see Mutotomu just on the ground crying. It's like no, no. And funny enough, someone's like, "I just became captain."
Yeah.
No, that was Love Tan, Ota,
Love-tan, yeah.
Ota, yeah. She was like, I just became captain, come
You
on.
see Nachan just she's so afraid because the team 4 was made that year, so it felt like, oh no, everybody's leaving. Jurina is mad. She's like, what the hell is this? And,
Yeah.
and the draft Kenkyusei are in trouble because they have been formed by team because of the draft. So
Exactly. But
this
they were
shovel
affected.
this shovel could change everything. So we had this whole draft, and now you're changing it. Not even in a year.
Right, made no sense.
You see the three musketeers, Nishino, Kojima Mako, and Nachan together, and Michan says, "Oh, it's gonna be fine. It's okay." And Nachan was just very sensitive on that time. Imagine what she is now, but well, she's now 20, so that was
19, I think.
no, she's now 20 because she had her birthday.
Okay.
Well, during that time she would have been then. Let me check. So it's 2004, no 13. Is it? No, it's 2014, and now it's
14, yeah.
2017. So 3 years ago. So she would be 16, 17-ish.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, still sensitive, like like a little kid on that side.
To me, the part that gets me on that was when Rina Matsui, when she goes in that elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally cried so hard when I saw that because she was trying so hard to be Mama Rina, and she did. But then as soon as she was in the elevator, she's like, okay, nobody can see me, good, and it just came out.
She even smiled. She smiled, and she's like, "The door is closing. Okay, I can break."
Yeah, just it was so heartbreaking to see that because she, like she loves the girls that she was with, and then that happens, and it's like, what, like, it said it all.
Yeah, then moved on to Umeda Ayaka and Kobayashi Kana talking to each other like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
we've been together in this group for so many years. Maybe it's time. They're already thinking about graduating, and to be fair, it wouldn't be that long.
Did.
We then move on back to Akihabara Theater, and snow, like this whole snow party, and you see everyone. Oh, look at that! Just opening the door of the backside. It's like, oh, pretty cool. 15 Gen and Draft Kenkyusei are together. They're teaching Gotomoe how to do makeup, and they're just talking about what are the rules here. Yeah, we're not allowed in to change if the senpai are in there, so we have to wait. But when do you change? When the senpai leave, and then we clean up. It's like, these are very heavy rules, but I think it's a very good system. It teaches respect, in Japan it's honor and respect, of course, very high, but you're in AKB doesn't mean you're like, oh, now I'm in the money. No, you still have to work very hard to actually be allowed in there. I saw Sato Kiara, Sechan, and who was the third one from 15 Gen, I think?
Good
yeah,
question.
so I think she's already left. You see, there's this hallway with all the lockers, and you see them all lined up, crammed in there. You see Komi writing stuff down, while Team 4 is just having fun, having all the space they need. And I was thinking, wow, they're only allowed outside when the team just goes on the stage. It's pretty scary system, but yeah, Akihabara Theater is not that big, so you still have to have the Kenkyusei to learn. So those are the rules. You saw Team 4 stage. They're all having fun. Michan saying, "Oh, good luck getting home tonight. I don't know. I'm not responsible for your safety." It's like, oh, good job. We then move on to February 24th. The big shovel is happening.
Oh man, yeah.
You see Maida Ami, saying, "Hey, this place is free. Yuko, come sit on my lap." Then Oshima Yuko sits in, and then Goto Moe sits on the lap as well. It's just pretty fun up. And they go to the back. You see Kojima Haruna saying, "Hey, babies, just come sit down here." And then Sato Kiara is like, "No, it's against the rules." Like, she's you can tell she was programmed in her head. Like, okay, I have certain rules to follow, but there are now two rules confining with each other. I am not allowed to sit because that's for the senpais, but a senpai is saying that I should sit. What do I do? And then the manager shows up like, no, these were reserved for you. You can sit down. So she sits down, but she's very carefully on that side. Then we go to the actual shovel. First off, Team A announced Captain Takamina is back. She's like,
Yep.
okay, why? Judina almost afraid every time she hears that she's going back to AKB. And she's still kenning with SKE48, so she's... the big announcement, Ikomarina from Nogisaka46 going to Team B, and Mayu just loses it because he has a very close relationship with Ikomarina. Team 4 captain, this was a big one because they were afraid. Michan is still the captain, but this one was surprising. Kisaki Yuriga from SKE transferred. They were like, okay. You can see all like Team 4 going in there, except of course for Kojima Mako. She's going to Team K. So that was interesting. And then 15 Gen gets all the almost all of them get promoted and going to Team 4. Shibuya Nagisa, Kenin position, all of that. And this hurt me. You see this one girl in Team 4 sitting.
Team 4, yeah.
Who was that? Can someone tell me exactly? Because I couldn't tell you.
So, Kikuchi Ayaka?
Oh, it was, yeah. Kikuchi Ayaka, thank you. You can see her, and she's like, it suddenly realizes, oh no. And she's just panic attack. They take her to the back, and she's just wailing.
No, you're talking about Iwata Karen.
No, that's later.
But was it, I don't know if it was Kikuchi Ayaka then. I mean, was it her? Yeah.
Was Hashimoto Yukari.
Also, you are all correct. It's like a lot of members, but this one was the first panic attack that went to the back. In the meantime, we move on to Team S announcement. The captain, Miyazawa Sai, and when I watch this shuffle, it's like very tearful because Yuko is just crying that Miyazawa Sai is returning. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
She can be here. I can see her. Iwata Karen moves to SKE, and that was she took it very well on stage, but later she had to go to the back because someone else was having a panic attack. Watanabe Milky Kenin to SKE. This one is for you, Derek. Tani Marika moves to SKE.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was so depressed. I wanted her and Chiori to stay together in HKT and all that, but never happened.
It worked out for the best, I would say, right?
I don't know. I think she should stay in HKT. The more I think about it, although she's done well in SKE, but then now look, she's not part of any of the discussions anymore. It's like they've phased her out. So I think she would have done better in HKT given the direction HKT has gone. But that's just me.
We see Sato Sumire, who recently announced graduation, moves to SKE. Matsuirena, that she's like Kenin position Nogisaka. She's like, why?
Why?
Well, it did help her grow a lot. There's a documentary when she tells that she's at first she was scared, but she's realized I am going to help members, help people, and then she had a great time in Nogisaka 46, of course. We then this one was a little bit scary when Suda Akari was talking. You hear this one member that was just left over from Team A, boom, crashes down to the ground.
Very sad.
They had to go to the back, and you just see her panicking. You still have Kichika Aika panicking. Iwata Karen just going away. It's like, why? It's just some of them. I can't do this. I think Sato Sumire was also saying, I can't do this.
Yeah, Suchan was back there. Yeah, because because I think her and Karen, like, because obviously Iwata, like she didn't go to SK if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
You know, and but she really wanted to, and I think that was the problem. It was just, you know, it was just tearing friendships up.
Yeah, you are correct. Before we move on to that, we heard Kyusuke Aika. That's the thing, going to NMB, so that's why she was panicking. Murashige Anna Kenin to NMB. Yukirin, she was like, what? This was the start of Yukirin. Just, you know, let's screw with Yukirin. Let's let's do her to the Kenin groups. Sorry, this is a good sound to hear on the show. There we go. My throat is a little bit. You know, I'm actually the one who always talks about like, hey, no weird sounds on the show. It hurts in my ears, and now I'm pouring a glass of drink for myself. Well, yeah, still got to talk a few hours. Sorry about that. Okay, breaking my own rules. I'm bad. So, the announcer is telling there's a consideration before you have transfers. You can still appeal. It's like, no, I don't want to. That's pretty nice. That you're like forced to go. However, it's advised to go because your career is on the line, and management is saying, hey, this is better for you to go. But what you said, Sato Sumine shows up in the morning. It's like, hey, Karen, what is this? What are they saying? And they have like a very touching talk. And when Sato Sumine talks, she always talks with this high-pitched voice, like this very motherly feel to Iwata Karen. And yeah, she's Iwata Karen is like, I really want to go, but family is stubborn because my mom can't go. My grandparents, you know, they also have their issues, so I can't put this pressure on my family. And she was still young, so she couldn't be on their own. She's not an adult yet. So the choice was, we'll stay in Tokyo. We again go to Fuji Arena. Talks about her move to NMB. I think that was pretty good for Fuji Arena, you would say, moving on to NMB.
It fit her, I think, better. She was a fan of NMB for how long, and she was always very vocal about that. But then I also think Reina's actually a really good dancer, and NMB at that time was very dance heavy. Like they were like the group, like them and SK were battling for that dance title. Like we're the best dancers. You know, HKT was in the whole cutesy thing, but like NMB and SK were like bloodbath when it came to like right, you know, coming with like these dance heavy songs, and
what was the song?
Reina helped them.
The one that looks like Sin Cities, like Don't Look Back or something?
Don't Look Back, yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Very good.
We move on to Nachan. She reflects on the shuffle. Like, she doesn't feel motivated, she feels depressed. And Uchiyama Natsuki is talking to her. And we see that Uchiyama Natsuki is moving away from Team 4. And her and Nachan were very close, so it hurt Nachan that she's like, and of course the Mako moving to Team K. So she felt like, I'm having so much fun with these members, and now they're leaving. So they have this whole discussion. What I did notice though, did you notice who was sitting in the background watching on?
Of course you would.
They would, yeah.
None other than Murayama Yuri was sitting in the background.
Oh, the goddess! Oh my god!
Just watching Nachan on, is he okay? Because Nachan felt very depressed, and so that was pretty fun for me to see. I never noticed that before, but now it's like, interesting. Yep. Nachan's struggling. She's just, I can't feel it right now. And Uchima Natsuki, you know, that girl's smart. She knows the whole law outside of top of her head. And she even did some, you know, politics stuff, and now she's doing exposition and stuff like that. She gives a very good advice about Nachan. It's like, I don't want to hear you talk about this. I don't want to hear this negativity from you. We're just gonna have fun. We're just gonna smile. And we're gonna perform. And you see Nachan performing, all smiles, doing her best as she can. She's like, you know what? Yeah, she's right.
Yeah, like Nachan crushed it. Like you saw her just give it her all, like she always does. She bounced back. She was just having one of those moments, like, you know, I think everybody has. And I really love that Naki like totally tried to set her there. Which, by the way, as an aside for Naki, if you want to make like a top 10 list of best handshake girls ever in AKB48, she'd be on that list. She'd be near the top because from what I understand, Naki was one of those girls that like just totally remembered you, would shake your hand and like never let go. You know, she was just like a legend when it came to that, and super ganky, always giving you way more time you deserve. Just this like Kami, you know, Tayo handshake girl.
Yeah, Kami Tayo,
so, yeah. And I think Naki again was one of those underused members, like members that tried to make her own thing and just didn't work, and I think she was destined for greater heights, which is why she's doing what she's doing now. But AKB should have did a lot to try to keep her, because I think Naki would be a Senbatsu member at this point, and that's my humble opinion. I think her and Nachan would have risen together.
Yeah,
you're correct.
We then move on to Michan talking about, hey, did they call me still, I'm still young? I was 13 when I started in this group. I'm 21 right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really hard to still perform in early in the morning. My body hurts. And then they move on to Kojima Mako, and she's like, you know, a little teasing Michan, and Michan is saying, don't go to Team K.
Yeah.
And Mako saying, come with me. You know, who cares? Funny thing enough, though, it's, I think in 2015, they actually switched them around. So Mako was going back to Team 4, and Michan went to be captain of Team K.
Team K, yeah.
It's like the AKS just screwing with those two.
Oh man. Yeah, that was the 2015 shuffle, I think. Yeah, during the spring concert.
Okay. We then move on to Michan and Yukirin, showing Michan's kiddie side, like they said, doing a snowman on the bus because of the cold. It's the March 11th, 2014. They went to the disaster area for the 35th time. So imagine this is still going on. You can see from last documentary compared to what now it is, what they've done in a year. You see buildings coming up, groups, handshakes still going great. So it's a nice follow-up to the last documentary. Moving on to March 23rd, 2014. Oshima Yuko Thanksgiving Festival, like a special handshake event. She announces her final concert will be on the 29th and the 30th. The 30th, she said, will be her final time. Remember that date. March 29th, 2014, the first day of the concert. We see them building up, saying, hey, we're going to do this non-stop. They're all in their, you know, red outfits. And you see this amazing Uza performance. I really loved that performance of her. And Derek, I was right. But so were you.
Were you?
Yeah, so you remember what I said with this performance? We see someone hanging, and I said, no, that's Mayu hanging. You said, no, I'm pretty sure Takamina's hanging on the swing set. We were both right.
Okay, yeah.
We saw Takamina on the right, and we saw Mayu on the left, so... It's pretty funny that we had this discussion and we were both right anyway.
Yeah, interesting.
We move on to practice time, and I really laughed on this side. So it was pretty fun to see. Everybody's scared because we're how high are we going? Judy and I was like, yada. It's like I can't even go on a roller coaster. You see Fresh Lemon is just
Pure Myorin.
Oh man. So bad for her.
While Takahashi Ju is like, it's gonna be fine, we're gonna do fine. They go up, you see her screaming, just like this. And who else just shows up like, I'm enjoying this a lot, is Tano Yuka just going, like, we're flying. And
like the boss that she is, doesn't care.
But what I liked, you see all Team 4 still hanging around together, and it's just good to see that's you know, even though they were disbanded for the year before, they were still together as a unit. Oshima Yuko goes on her like this. I don't know who thought it was a good idea. But this was very dangerous. This whole swing set she was in, sitting, going very up high, going all the way to the top. It's like, well, how far am I going? Oh, depends on the wind, you know. If you get a blow, you can just fall.
Wow.
You're good.
Like, this is a very important person in your country, and you're... Okay. She went up there, and she's like, oh, that was fun. And then you look up, and she has to walk all the way back. I'm like, oh, that's just horrible. It's like, I'll change first, like, we'll see what happens. So, they were very happy on the first day concert. Then, March 30th, 2014, second day concert. Ame. Lots of rain. You see HKT practicing. They're having fun. They're thinking, oh, good concert. It's the first time since the shuffle that the new teams are practicing together. So you see Iko Marina walking around. You see honorary member Masui Kaori Kautan.
Oh yeah.
You know, having bit of a leader, but also Kenkyusei. And as a follow-up to the last documentary, guess who's back? Jo Eriko. She's back being Kenkyusei. She's like, yeah, I'm having fun. And it's like, you were promoted to this, but you decided to be Kenkyusei. Oh, being Kenkyusei is fun. You can do a lot. Yeah. So it's pretty nice to follow up, you know, forever.
It's very cool.
Once the future of NMB, now just being in Kenkyusei and just having fun around. Great to see that even though you leave, you're still allowed to come back. So I still wonder, maybe in a few years you see like, yeah, I'm not getting any more jobs lately. Can I be back in?
No, they do. They still have to do auditions and such. So
yeah, I was gonna say Kikuchi Ayaka. Like, I don't think like, I mean, when they brought her back, like, you know, it was really, I think, a tough decision for them. But they realized the girl was like awesome, so they're like, well, we should just let her in. Same with Jo Eriko. But I think it's not. I wonder if it is easy to come back. You have to wonder that. You know, like how many have actually tried and failed that we don't know about.
If Oshima Yuka decides, hey, I want to be back.
Hey, come on in. I don't think anyone has a problem there. But I'm saying like some of the lesser, like the second, third, fourth tier girls, like you know, Kobayashi Kana, for example, she tried to come back, but they'd be like, you're kind of old, we're not gonna let you in. You know, like you have to wonder. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Do you bring the money? That's the thing.
Yeah, dude, are you gonna bring us anything? We already have 500 girls, and I don't know if we need you anymore.
All right, so you see a picture of the rain and the wind. You know, all those covers. Of where the tunnels where the girls walk around, you have those black covers, and they go every time like going big, and then by the wind they swallow up on the inside. They're saying the rain and the wind is too severe. We can't do anything about this. So they have like a whole meeting, and tension is high. You can see Yuko just looking on the distance, looking depressed, and they decide. The top people will decide what will happen at 1 o'clock. So Yuko practices her song, the one I forgot the title every time, but she's singing it. You see the guy that we saw in showroom composed with Jurina, the great song that we're still waiting for. He was performing with Yuko on the piano, and
beautiful.
In the meantime, you see all the rain, all the people just standing there, and the song plays out. She's practicing her heart out. And then Yuko is like, what time is it? Oh, 10 minutes till it's announced.
Yeah.
She moves outside. She's gonna sit down. Someone tells her, we can't use any fireworks, any pyro. We can't go on the swings or anything. It will be very limited. So then the guy, you know, squats down. And this hurts me. This part really hurt me. It goes quiet. You hear no sound, and you just see Yuko. Instant eyes just tear up, and she's like, she suddenly realization, oh my god, this is not gonna happen today. And seeing Yuko break, it's a rare thing, but I never saw her like this. So her end ceremony just crushed.
It reminded me of when Sayaka graduated, and there's that really iconic backstage shot of those two sitting next to each other, and Yuko just blown away with sadness because she's losing Sayaka, and then it's even more bad in this situation because Sayaka's not there for her. She's not there to, you know, to hold her and say, look, you know, it's going to be all right. She didn't have anyone. I mean, Takamina, Michan, but they were busy. And Yuko had to face that herself. You know, she was out there by herself. And that says volumes. Because who else do we know that was herself in those lost dark moments? It was Achan. And it was just like, you really are on your own when you're the center, when you're the top girl. And that, man, Powell drived it home, didn't it? When you watched her just break like that.
Man.
Just terrible.
She walks up the stairs. You hear her wailing, crying her heart out. And yeah, everybody's gathered. It's announced the concert for today is cancelled. A little speech from Yuko giving, no, we can't blame anything, that's frustrating. But you see she's still crying, red, all just dead on the inside. And all these members, her precious senpai, they feel for her. Lots of crying, tears everywhere. People are just destroyed, and they have to go home. It's like we can't follow this up.
Yeah, it's devastating, and also too, interestingly enough, I believe it's one of the only times this has ever happened in AKB's history. So in a way, it's kind of lucky. Like, they've never really been rained out. I remember they even referenced, one of them referenced, oh, it's not like that one time when it was raining, but we were so much smaller then, and now it's, look at this. Like, I don't know, it was bad. In retrospect, I think it worked out just fine. But
Except for this year.
Yeah.
Well, this year is a little different, yeah.
We're gonna do this big Sosenkyo on Okinawa in typhoon season in open stadium. Yeah. That will work fine, right?
Yeah,
let's do it right
could
middle
go
of
wrong,
typhoon
man.
season.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Or AKB, the weather will bow to us. No, it won't. You're not that great.
But do you think they still had the same reaction, or like, ah?
I want to see a documentary. I'm hoping there is another big documentary coming our way. I'm hoping it'll be a return to form, because the last one wasn't that great. But I would say I'm curious. I am very, very curious to know the behind the scenes for this, because that Susenkyo was supposed to be just epic in Okinawa, and it turned out to be the most disappointing Susenkyo I've ever seen, as far as everything goes, what surrounded it. But it's just, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. And I mean, but other than that, that was pretty much the only two times, I think.
AKS. Stop having open stadium concert during rain season.
Or at least check the weather reports. Jeez.
Well, not even that, because you have to plan out in months in advance, so you can check out the weather.
You can check out the history of the.
Yeah, you can check out. It's like, it's March. Rain. Okay, no. It's like, do it in June. Like, it's better. No, there's like slightly chance of rain, and not even if there's rain, the winds wouldn't be that hard. Don't do it at the start of the year. Don't do it in the end of the year. Middle, like summer. Do it in the summer.
Or
do it in a dome. Stadium, dome.
Domes are fine, but if you really bent on doing open stadiums, because open stadium concerts have that extra bit of flair, I would say, because I think all my favorite concerts are in the open stadium. It gives it more feeling. But still, don't be idiots.
Thank you, Robin. You said it.
We then move on to we see Gotomoe with a diary or essay she made, and it's called Memories Forever, for writing an essay for fulfilling her dream. Speaking of fulfilling dreams, so they followed up with Mayu entering the Sosenkyo. We see the epic picture of Sayaka just giving that paper, so like this to the member in the theater, and so Yamato Sayaka was in Akihabara, so she just visited, and Yokoyama Yui and Kaoya Rina screamed their lungs out because they were so surprised. We were just talking about you. Oh my god, she was imitating you. It's like, oh really, imitating? Then Izuta, Rina, and Mayu, and I think someone else rushed out. It's like, is there a cockroach here? Just being afraid. It's like, definitely, because the scream was so loud. It was Yokoyama Yui, and she screams loud. So, so they calmed down. It's like, sleepover? It's like, okay. It's pretty funny to see that. It was the Yokoyama Team A Sensuraku. And
Sensuraku. Right. Last performance.
Yeah, last performance before moving on with the new teams. And here it is, Kikuchi Ayaka graduating. She's like, she doesn't even want to be there anymore. So she performed with Team A, and it was like, yeah, no, it's not working out. I'm leaving. I'm not allowed to go back to Team 4? Nope. So, what do you think of that before we move on?
I don't know. It's kind of have my doubts about it. I do think it's a bit rushed, I would say, or handling in emotion without thinking logically. But I don't know. It's felt weird in any case.
I think Kikuchi Ayaka is a little bit of a different person. If we look at like other girls that might have had the same stance, like I mean, look at like I said, I think what's Karen? She didn't go to SK, correct? Like she stayed in AKB. So so she told them I'm not going, but Kikuchi Ayaka accepted it, and then she went, and she didn't like it. Okay. But I think she had her mind set on something else anyways, because look, I mean, right after she got out of AKB, she had a kid. Now I think she has another kid on the way. Like I think she never really left the mindset of having a boyfriend.
She was never on Team 4, by the way. I screwed up. She was first Team B, dismissed due to scandal on August 14, 2008. Graduation. Back from AKB48 Kenkyusei, Team K, Team A. Supposed to be moving to Team N, but she decided graduation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think that she tried AKB again because I think whatever happened in her personal life didn't work at the time, and it didn't work either when she went back to AKB. I bet you she wasn't welcomed back with open arms, I'm guessing. And we even kind of get a hint of that in her one interview she did on one of the documentaries. I think it was The Show Must Go On or Time, where she's like, AKB is full of idols, it's full of girls that all want to have the spotlight. I think she's kind of hinting right there that like, I'm back, but I'm gonna really have to struggle, and I don't think she was set for it, So because I mean, look, she graduated right afterwards. I think she was just like, this isn't that great, I'm gonna leave, and that's fine because she's happy now and she has children and she's very happy. So. Or at least she seems to be. So, I mean, good for her. But I think some girls are just designed for AKB and some aren't. And in her case, I think the shuffle just kind of reaffirmed that I don't think was designed for AKB as much as she thought she was. Unfortunately for us, because she's gorgeous. But,
yeah, so I'm looking up. It wasn't Umeta Ayano, right?
Umeta? Or no? Umeta Ayaka?
Yeah, no, she was transferred to Team B on the Daisuke Matsuri, so on the shuffle. And the other one is Hashimoto Hikari. They both moved to Team B, but the other one graduated. They quickly graduated, by the way. No, okay, so let's see. Umeta Ayano graduated this year on Team B, so it's probably the other one. Yeah, graduated AKB August 9, 2015. So she tried for a year and it didn't work out. Okay, so my notes are gone, so I need to look it up again. Give me a moment.
Oh man.
So before we move on, we saw Satoe Sumire in the back, and this part I love. You see the start that Iwata Karen is crying, and she drops all her makeup stuff and she goes to Karen's like, Karen-chan, just this very nice voice, and she's trying to be this motherly.
So cute.
But then she hurts because she's like, I don't want to leave actually. Yeah. Because she was been AKB all her life. She's like, the Team B person. She was now in Team A, and then moving on to SKE. She did fine in SKE, I would say. But very touching moment. We then move on to the June 8th, 2013 little flashback. That Sosenkyo happened, and Sashihara from HKT, nice follow up from last documentary. Oh my god, HKT, is this going to work out? Apparently it did. She did
apparently did.
Big time.
we talk about Sashi versus Mayu for the first time. It's like now it's really happening since Yuko's away. This will be the battle. We get a first glimpse of Nakomiku, being the children of Sashi being together. It's May 21st, 2014. the preliminaries of the Sosenkyo are announced, and Harupi is freaking out. She's like, I haven't heard my name yet, and then you hear like HKT48 on the good position is like, is it me? Moriyasu Madoka. It's like, oh my god, Sashi, I'm freaking out. But next to her, it's like Harupi is in the list, so she's very happy to see. It's fun to see that Harupi is still at hope during those times, because yeah, this year didn't go well for her, sadly. Hopefully she comes back next year.
Yeah, same.
But I think she lost a lot. She was gaining so much momentum, and this year didn't go so well for her. Then we her announcement that Mayu is becoming second place, and they're like, "Hey, congratulations! Who is it?" Well, Sashi, maybe you're unranked. Who knows? And they're about to announce the first place, and the feed cuts out, and they're like, they're panicking, but they hear the final votes, and the difference is 37,582 versus 25,283. So approximately 12,000 votes difference already in the preliminaries. So Sashi was like, okay, we can do this. Mayu's like, we'll see what happens. You never know what goes. It's announced that the final date for Yuko's graduation concert, that's second day, and the Sosenkyo. So everything was going smoothly. Everything's planned out. The year is going great.
Oh boy.
Until...
Oh boy. May 25th.
Tohoku. Handshake events. It's announced that a man entered the arena with a knife and attacked 2 members and certain staff members. Kawairina, Iriyama Ana, both injured. It's even like on the Shinkansen you see this news going away at certain blogs. This is a very dark moment in AKB48's history. I think we mentioned it a lot, and it changed.
I'm still.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I ever find that guy on the streets, I will probably put him paralyzed permanently in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I won't go back at all.
Oh, he's luckily locked up now for how many years still? 8 years?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately not for life, but yeah, he'll be getting out eventually, and then I'm wondering what his life will be like then, but he's got a lot of AKB fans that might be, waiting for him. So, but anyways, no, yeah, this event,
yeah.
There are no words. I thought it was really telling, all the notes that were left by the fan, the staff, and Koji Haru's message, short and sweet, and Yui-han, everybody. It was very painful to read those messages.
Yep.
Yeah, the messages like Takahashi Juri feeling lost. Like the effect this is upon her, it still haunts her to this day. The screams, the smell she was saying about, the blood siding, and Yokoyama Yui just recalling what she saw because she was in the lane next to her. And this is what I'm talking about earlier. This event changed AKB's direction completely. Like for a lot of people, if there was an alternate universe where this event didn't happen, who knows what AKB would have been now. The biggest one, since we're talking about Paru, I think this moment changed Paru's direction. This is the moment she was like, if this happens in the group, this is not, you people are disgusting. That's what she felt like. This is where the salty Paru really kicked in. And we noticed, like, it was 2014, and 2016 she left, I say?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
2016.
So just 2 years later, she's already done. Even though she said in this documentary earlier, she's gonna stay for a while. Yeah, what you said with Koiharu, this also changed her direction. Because when the Sosenkyo happened, we'll get to that later, she did something, well, it was a joke, but there was some reality in that for her. Even the common rider that's always with the disaster area write a message, just how smiles you bring just for showing up for the people who lost everything. Well, it's time to pay back. It felt like now we need to protect the members, the girls, from this, because now they have lost a lot, and this event, I just imagine being there and you hear suddenly these screams, you see blood, you think like, what the hell is happening? And I think for Western folk, it's easier to, take this reality in. But in Japan, it doesn't happen a lot, I would say.
Yeah, so a couple things on that. Like, when we look at the attacks that have been made on idols over the years, it's been a handful at most. The ones that have exceeded have been horrific. Mayu Tomita comes to mind last year. Getting stabbed, all those. I mean, that's just horrible. But again, each of these cases dealt with severely mentally deranged people, or people like, if you really want to get down to it, this guy who hurt these AKB members, he was a victim and product of the fact that the Japanese government basically has not done their job in Sendai in helping people. He was unemployed, loser, basically saw AKB successful on TV and is like, look at my crappy life here in Sendai. I'm gonna go hurt somebody because I don't know what else to do, because I have this like whole rage about my situation. Sendai was a cover-up. It was this big lie that the Japanese government propagated, saying that there was no problem, the radioactivity didn't exist. If you look at some of the directors of movies at that time started to catch on to this. Shion Sono comes to mind. He put out a great movie that dealt with this. The madness that exists on the human level there, it was very real, and AKB had no idea. They were walking into a time bomb. To be honest, I'm surprised it didn't happen more, and I'm surprised it didn't happen more often, and I'm surprised that when they very first came there, it didn't happen. But as time went on in the tsunami disaster affected area, no help's getting there. It should be, the cleanup was taking too long. It was inevitable somebody was going to snap. Now, I'm not saying it made it right. I'm just saying, like, when we look at the overall history of all this and things that happen with idols and stuff, AKB had the biggest reality check of their existence at that point, because prior to that, they just had stupid fans every once, come into the lanes and, say horrible things to the girls, but that's about it, and it was very few and far between. As you said, as far as Westerners go, had I been there, of course, you're not anticipating or expecting it. Now that it's happened, I can tell you every handshake event I attended, I had that feeling, like, let something happen, let something pop off. I'm going to go kill some people. I'm going to go beat somebody up, because I was just waiting for it, because I was prepared. It's kind of like, I hate to use this example, but I no disrespect to anybody on 9/11 that lost their lives, and idol world is so far away from that, but we are dealing with the same situation in a way. If you're on an airplane today, you just let somebody try to hijack it. Just let somebody stand up and say they got a bomb. They're going down. That's exactly what happened in Detroit, a couple years back when the shoe bomber tried to blow up a plane. Somebody saw it. He got his ass beat by all the passengers. Like, it's not going to happen again, because the minute somebody stands up, I'm going to be like, oh, hell no. But, I'm fighting him. I'm not going down with the plane. And the shock won't be there. Versus here, like you said, Japan is so innocent. It's like, it's just, they, like, jaws on the floor, But we also saw it with Techi. Look what happened with her. Put the pipe on that, but look what happened. In 2 seconds, that guy was down. They got him before he could do anything. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't think it's ever going to happen again on that kind of level. I think the second somebody goes crazy like that, they're going to get their butt beat. But also the way the handshake events are set up now, you almost couldn't. They got a police officer behind the girls. They got 2 staff members on either side. You couldn't even try to take out assault without getting whipped. And they're staring at you too. And they take that stuff seriously. I saw a lot of those people, like, they're just waiting for you, especially me. Like, they saw me in my tattoos, they instantly assume I'm this bad guy. They're just waiting for me to, like, pull something out, So I would say this did change things, but maybe wasn't necessarily for the worst in some level, because you should have some security. You can't be that naive.
Yeah.
All these girls up there that are worshipped, you gotta have a little more sense. But
despite the horrible situation, they made the best out of it for the future.
They did.
And I think all the fans agree, because I was there recently. I saw the security measures. It's not a pain. It's
not a big deal.
It's like, okay, but we understand why. And to this day, I'm still wondering, does Iriyama Anna still show up at handshake events? I don't think so. I don't
think she does.
I'll take a quick look, just a sec.
Okay, so in the meantime, it looks.
But in her case, I understand, because she has a mental tragedy that happened there. It'd be like going on a roller coaster after you were on one that had an accident. Like, why would you ever get on one again? It'd be scary.
Kawaii had the same thing. Next year she announced graduation. She was doing great. She was still like up and coming, but she's like, I can't go to handshake events because every time I'm there, I'm scared. I'm scared what will happen. And Iriyama had the same thing, and just Paradu also like Salt, just having their own barriers made because.
Nope. Oh, coming back at you.
Yeah.
Looking at the latest handshake sales for the 50 singles, she's not available. Iriyama Anna.
And I don't remember seeing her at the national either.
Every time I ask to someone, they're just like, nope, I don't remember. So it's probably a thing that she doesn't show up. Who could blame her?
I don't blame her.
Yeah. No. So we then move on to the like it's a little while later. It announced first that stages and handshake events are postponed. There's like no events. Like everything's cancelled. We then move on back to the theater resumes. I don't know which date it was, but we see the extra security. We see the metal detectors. We see the fences, and it's supposed to be Yuko's graduation stage that was announced first. It's postponed again. It's like I know what happened, but because of this, it's postponed again. New security measures coming up. But we start with Team A because it's reset, and Team A is supposed to be here because Iriyama Anna and Kawaii are Team A. We see Mutotomu Iotakana, just to recap what happened at the beginning of the year with the shuffle and everything. And no, let's try and make smiles. That's important. Nowadays, the first row is open again and the fences are gone. So I'm glad to that, but the security measures are still there. And even there's like one security guy now standing, and there are 4 staff members, and it's very well. I think the security is pretty tight still, but lesser than it was during that time, of course.
Yeah, it's a gradual process of getting back to old form, but for now, I can blame him for having still a bit of security left. So.
No, I think it's fine actually. It's like it's secure, but it doesn't feel tight. What I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's you can still, even sometimes the security guy is still laughing or just enjoying himself, but they do the job very well. We then move on to June 7th, 2014. So Senkyo time. We start out with I don't know what position it was, but Maida Ami just having like she ranked in but very low. Uchiyama Natsuki just below Nachan, her first ranking on 51st position. 24th position Mutotomo. Then I need to go to my part 2 of my list because the notes were full, unbelievably. We see Harupi making on the 21st position. We go to the back, Kojima Mako. She thought she was Senbatsu material because she was pushed so heavily getting in there.
Yeah.
But I think it's Shinobu saying, your time will come next year. Sadly, it hasn't come yet. She's still almost there, but
not quite. But
no.
Not quite. Yeah.
Number 20th, Iriyama Anna on the phone. She's like, thank you. It's like very happy. It's like she won an award, but she doesn't show up. Who did show up though? That was surprising. Was Kawaii, who got announced 16th position Senbatsu, and everybody when you see the Sosenkyo like the recap live. Her coming out on stage is like it hits you really hard. Just
it does.
Very courageous to be on that stage. And
I remember watching it live and just breaking down in tears because it was like, when that day happened and I wrote this huge blog in response to it, I was so shaken to my core that day. I couldn't even function that day. It was too hard. And then seeing Kawaii kind of made it feel a little bit like it was gonna be okay. Like it was like, okay, we're gonna get back, we're gonna get there, and God bless her for being so brave in such a short amount of time to make an appearance like that when no one expected, and she certainly didn't have to, but like she showed that she really wasn't gonna let this defeat her, like she said, and I mean even to this day, as baka as she
is,
Still there? Okay.
Give it a moment, Derek. You're getting a little laggy.
Yeah.
Even even if she's Baka.
Even though she was Baka, like that, she's also incredibly brave, and incredibly, she's a hero to me for doing that. You know what I mean? And it was so hurtful to hear her announce graduation because of this, because it did eventually get to her.
Yeah, she said, "I'm fine," and I said, "That's a lie." It's like,
that's a lie.
Yeah.
She was showing face. She's doing fine now, actually, because her acting career is through the roof. She's like getting roles and roles and roles.
Yep.
She's getting pregnant every episode she's on.
Yeah.
She's permanently pregnant in every freaking thing she does.
Yep.
Anyway.
We then move on to 9th place, Takamina, giving a good speech. 8th place, Kojima Haruna. And this was a part. So there was all rumors that Kojiharu is going to announce graduation. Originally, she was planning to. But after the events in the handshake event, of course, she decided, I can't leave right now. AKB is very much in dire. They need someone, and then she's like, I need to stay for all my kohais. So she did the fake graduation announcement, got a few laughs, you know, because like, no, I'll decide on my own when I'm gonna graduate, not because of you people.
Trolled us all.
Yeah.
We moved on to the 3rd place, Yukirin, again 3rd place for her. And she wanted the handshake events to return because she feels it's a very important part to her, meeting the people that support her. And I love that speech. It's like, hey, it's important. I understand the situation, but maybe there was an idea that no more handshake events, that the whole concept of idols you can meet was thrown out because of this one attack. But I am very glad that they decided, even though it sucked, just this event, that not just because one attack happened, they decide, okay, it's been like how many years, and now only one incident happened. Let's just bring those handshake events back.
Well, and the key here is he was not targeting AKB specifically as far as members. He wasn't like some obsessed fan like Mayu Tomida's stalker and eventual attacker was. He didn't care. He saw them, they were successful, he looked at his life, hated it, revenge time for something that those girls had nothing to do with. He didn't even care who he got. So I think that had a lot to play in it too. If it had been a group of fans that staged an attack, that might have been a different discussion altogether. But it wasn't. It was just some freak of a byproduct of the tsunami coming out in this rage. Unfortunately, it came out against AKB because they were an easy target. That's all it was. It's sad, but
we then move on to number 2 spot, Sashihara Rino. So they were surprised, like, oh, I didn't win, with 141,955 votes. Giving a good speech, of course. We see that the number 1 winner is Watanabe Mayu with 159,854 votes. The difference is just it's a small number, you would say.
It's not that
very,
big, actually,
very close of getting there.
Totally.
So Mayu,
I only think, my thoughts about Mayu winning that year is, I think HKT fans after the first day sales believe that Sashi can pull it off, so they focused on other HKT members to rank in, which in the long run hurted is the wrong word to say, but it gave Mayu the possibility to actually win that year. So I think that's happened. The most likely scenario.
Well, I think then Sashi went and got herself a millionaire, and then she pulled way far away after that. Yep. No one could touch her.
About 3 times more than what she did that year.
Ridiculous.
Oshima Yuko shows up for Mayu giving flowers like the last year of 2 years before that Achan did for Yuko. And so then I looked at the date, June 8th, 2014. I think that's a special date as well. Don't you remember DX?
June 8th. Oh man. What was it again?
So, what do we have in June in the Netherlands?
Oh, usually AnimeCon, right?
Yeah.
Period.
And on that day, you guys showed me that one video of AK Bingo. This is the day I became a fan of AKB48. just June 8th, and this happens to be on Yuko graduation concert day. It's pretty funny to see this. Like, huh, interesting. Like ending a chapter there and starting a new chapter, and for me it was the same thing, basically. It's lovable to see that it's perfect weather. The sky, it looks blue and a little cloudy there, but it's warm, and yeah, like, yes, we're gonna do this concert right away. We didn't see anything of the concert though. I think
Yeah.
I think that will be a good one to review next week. So surprise, we're gonna do the Oshima Yuko graduation concert day 1 and day 2 for next week, if there's time.
Yep.
Be a lot of fun.
Well, I can say it now because this is in documentary for a while. Longest goodbye ever.
Yeah.
They had this long, oh my god, it was so long. They had their own personal handshake event, and it took, I think, I think an hour in hindsight. Well, but everyone was green for the Team K, but it looked like a Kiyokizaki concert. It's like foreshadowing Kiyokizaki 46, all the green stuff. And maybe AK was like, this green looks great, like maybe we should make a group out of it. Not the pink stuff, maybe something green like. Yeah, it just all ended with Yuko just saying goodbye, 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 and it ends up with Yuko surfing away. And that's it. Documentary ended. We heard Yuko's final song. They say goodbye to her. So she goes upstairs in her new dress. They do the graduation stuff, and that was the documentary. So to recap, what do you think, guys?
This was one of the hardest hitting documentaries, I would say, but that's only because I had a personal stake in it, because the whole Iwate incident happened 2 months before leaving to Japan, and I had handshake tickets prepared and such, and I had heard about those back then, but it was more like, I don't know what to expect, and it's going to be a bit homely, like meeting up with a friend. But after the incident, it was like, no, this is so formal right now, this can be it. So I think on the next trip after that, I got to get the glimpse of the true handshake events, but back then it was like more like it's going to be pretty formal, really uptight security wise, so the atmosphere is going to be really different than what most of the handshake event goers are used to, so
Okay.
that's why the documentary hit me so hard.
Yeah, I would say when that all happened too, I was so disappointed because I still hadn't had a chance to go to a handshake event yet, and I kept having this horrible fear, selfish fear, because should be thinking about Annan and Kauai, but I remember having a fear of thinking, oh, they're not going to do it anymore, and I'm never going to get a chance to meet any AKB members. Thankfully, that didn't happen. But I would say overall the documentary was pretty solid. It's my third favorite documentary by AKB. It's definitely one that took me a few times to watch before I really understood the full impact of it. Definitely had some few instant cry moments, like with Rina in the elevator and Yuko when her face just dissolves into sadness when she's told concerts canceled. Definitely a lot of highlights there, but also there was a lot of disappointment I felt when I initially watched this documentary. Namely, they did nothing with Mariko, Sayaka, or Tomo-chan's graduation concerts. I thought they would, but then in fairness, they each had their own documentaries on the 5 Dome tour DVD, and they were pretty comprehensive. So I guess no need to show any of that. But I would say, they didn't address Michan's scandal whatsoever. They didn't, there was a lot that was left out of this. But I think, again, after watching this about 50 times now, it's actually pretty good, because all throughout this, one thing that we didn't really necessarily say was we see Nishiyama. We see her in all the various clips and all these various instances. We see her here and there. She's kind of in the background, but she's always, she's our like continuing thread from the beginning of the documentary almost to the end. And then Yuko, of course, being the main person of the documentary. It's good. It's a good observation for her. I do feel the ending was a little bit rushed. Like you said, they didn't even go into the concert. No final thoughts really with Yuko. All we saw was out, on the sailing, or swimming away, surfing away, whatever. I think they could have handled that better. But I say overall, it's not a bad documentary, and there's definitely, again, it's essential viewing for an AKB member, or if you're an AKB fan. Sorry, you should absolutely watch this and understand that this was the beginning of the end, the true end of the golden era. This was it, and this is also a great documentary to showcase the transition towards the younger members that we're seeing, like with Nachan and some of the HKT girls and stuff, and then also the pain that these girls are feeling, seeing all these changes happening, all the turbulence, and then of course the incident with the stabbing changed things even more. I mean, AKB's had a rough life, man.
Yep.
And if you're a fan, it's even rougher. What did you think, though, Robin?
Yeah, like I said, this documentary is a tough watch when you look at it and know what the history is now. Again, what I said, because of the incident, the course AKB could have gotten is maybe totally different to this side now. The end indeed was a little bit rushed, but the rest of the documentary, you had good focus points, good ideas what the year was going through of 2014. And then Yuko, of course, her original plan was graduating in March, and it ended up in June, begin June. So it's 3 to 4 months, I would say, that she
something like that.
almost had to wait before graduating. And the documentary style is pretty good. I like the format. Sadly, after this one, they didn't do it anymore. We had, I think, last year we had a documentary, but it didn't feel like a very good one. I really wish there was a documentary like this again, because it showcased so much. You learn so much about the hardship to this style of AKB48. So good watch. So yeah, I think well, like we said, next one we're to follow up this one, we're gonna do the Oshima graduation concert, since that's a fun concert to watch, and we see the difference from day one to the final day of the concert.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that'll kind of put the ending of this documentary into a little bit more perspective, which is I'm glad we're doing this, because I think it'll be a lot more fun to kind of follow up this documentary with that, because then it will really give you the whole insight of that time period in AKB's history, particularly with Yuko leaving. And that concert was very emotional. It's also one of the best concerts they've ever done, and just tons of fun and sad at the same time, but in a good way.
I am not looking forward to taking notes during the part she is saying goodbye to all the members.
Oh boy.
I'm not gonna write anything down. It's like, oh, this one, this one, this one, this one. Oh, my phone is full. Who got this? All right.
Oh boy.
Well, okay. So we did talk about recommendations, but Derek, you have something you want to mention?
Yeah, I got to keep plugging this every week because until it happens. I am setting up a U.S. American tour for NECRONOMIDOL. They are a idol group from Japan. They play amazing like dark wave fusion music, but they're an idol group. It's very significant that they're coming to America. They're coming with my friend's band Zeroshiki, who is doing the live music for them. They're going to be playing LA 2 shows, including at the iconic Whisky, as well as a ultra VIP show afterwards. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to play like Junkin during the VIP, and it's going to be all very, very personal. After that, we're going to Portland at the Analog. We're going to Seattle at Studio 7, and then we're going to Bottom of the Hill venue at San Francisco. The Bottom of the Hill venue is not going to have Zeroshiki, so that will be more traditional idol show. And yeah, it's a big deal. It starts December 15th. That is the Whisky show, and lasts until about December 22nd. I will be driving them all around. I will be handling every single aspect. Josh Box will be there at the LA show. He's going to be a special guest. He'll be helping me, kind of document the whole thing. If anyone is in the area, if anyone wants to fly to any of these shows, anybody needs tickets, they're all on Eventbrite. Plus, we'll have the links in the description. Yep. But definitely come, because if this goes well, this could be the beginning of getting a lot more idol groups into the U.S. and other places. One of the things I'm really kind of thinking about now is, for the Netherlands, the anime convention, if this tour goes well, it's kind of the direction I want to go with life, which is kind of getting into the idol world more professionally, whether it's to work with idols or to be in an idol group, you know. Yes, I know, don't laugh at that. Maybe I'll play guitar and have some crazy like metal and have 5 girls going nuts in front of me. I'm cool with that. We'll see. But I also think this is a first step into that bigger world. And if it goes well, I want to bring idols to everyone, you know, whether it's Netherlands, the US, anywhere. But it's got to start with somebody doing something about it. And this is me doing something about it. So please, please, please support it. Please, you know, come to the shows, have a great time. It's going to be fun. I'm running them, so they'll be great, I promise. And thank you, Robin, for letting me go on about that. I just, you know, I know it's not AKB related, but it's idol related. And it's also, if this goes well, who knows? I might be able to get in touch with AKS and finally give them a piece of my mind for us.
Oh,
and maybe they'll listen, and maybe they'll let me take a group like my wonderful unit I created, and maybe they'll make it happen.
We can only hope for it.
Oh,
Yes.
All right. Well, we talked about recommendations. We talked about documentaries. We missed the comments. So I think we're done for this week.
I think we are. Another long one.
Yeah,
So.
you can tell I am sleepy. So with that, though, thank you for watching this week's episode of 48 Talk. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Waka 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 waka.